Side of the glass, producing the program as always. We descend upon New Orleans for Super Bowl week coming up this upcoming week. Cannot wait for the festivities. Cannot wait for the week of content. Can't wait for Super Bowl opening night on Monday. Really, Armin, as we get ready for this deal, and today we're going to have a lot of fun. Aaron Nagler is going to join us a lot next week. He's going to be with us for the 11 o'clock hour all next week, live from Super Bowl Radio Row. So he's going to join us coming up today around, let's call it 10:40 on the program. Nags is going to drop by, and he's going to drop by on the YouTube stream as well, and we're going to hang out and have some fun. But there's a lot of good stuff to be discussed. There's a lot of good content to get during Super Bowl week. However, we are going to have to strategize a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a plan of attack because it's going to get crazy going up starting right when we land, I assume, on Sunday afternoon.
No, I think it will be. I'm assuming it'll be crazy. We'll come up with some sort of plan of attack. But, Billy, I think it's more of a controlled chaos situation. I don't know if you feel the same way. Now, I haven't been on one of these things before. You've been to Final Four.
I've been to Final Four, never been to Super Bowl Radio Row.
So I haven't been to this either. So it's going to be kind of new for me trying to handle myself when I see all these important people walking around.
Oh, sure.
Trying to understand what's going to be going on, what we have to do next and things like that. Also making sure our shows are good. So I'm anticipating
making sure that we're staying focused.
I'm anticipating a little controlled chaos. I'm going to try and just, stay in my lane and do my thing, Billy. I'm excited. However, this is also like, is this a sad weekend for you? Like mourning when there's no football. So is this like the first time? I never really approach it that way.
This is a tough one.
There is other sports, and I do enjoy, basketball. There's other sports as well. There's hockey going on as well, but it's not the same. There's no football for the first time in a long time. So I know for some people, this is like, it really hits them right in the face. Like, this is mourning. This is sad. And you have to kind of process this emotionally,
This is a weekend where you start realizing, like, okay, what am I about to do with myself for the next 6 or 7 months? Because now there are some, and you're right. Pro basketball, college basketball, we love it.
Which I love it. I mean, like, I've never been a guy that football is my only hobby, my only interest.
Baseball, big baseball program. We love the Milwaukee Brewers, loving Major League Baseball.
But we got time yet until pitchers and catchers.
Right after the Super Bowl.
In sports radio, this is the deal. There's 2 seasons in totality. There's football season
and non-football
and waiting for football season.
I get it.
So now we go into the waiting for football season after next week. And this is where you get the little appetizer of it. This is the good part, though. This is where you dip your toe in the water, realize, ooh, it's cold. Okay. I don't like that. All right. You build up a little courage. You maybe go slam one more drink. Then you're diving headfirst in that pool after the Super Bowl, right?
Sure.
Like your final shot of football season and excitement and warmth that coat gives you. That fires off and it probably ends after the Super Bowl. Then we dive into we're wading through free agency and trying to
draft
swim through all the draft and the Mike Greens from Marshall and trying to figure out which player, Mr. Sanders coming in, defensive end from Texas A&M that I was sending you yesterday at the Senior Bowl.
I know you love these guys. Yeah.
I like it. But it's all for this. It's all for football season.
Sure.
And sadly, that goes way after next week. So now that you bring it up, I am remembering it. And I am thinking about it a little bit more. But it's a good test. It's a good start. You just get yourself used to not having that companion that is football and then realizing that there's other things to enjoy out here.
I've always said this, though. You don't have games. Like, there's no games to talk about and watch. But football, I think in the NFL,
football never sleeps. Yeah, that's
it really
fair.
Doesn't stop. I mean, the calendar is dominating. It dominates your calendar in some portion. Obviously, we have, we do have the draft. We do have.
There's a week. And then there's the NFL scouting combine. So that's how
scouting
quickly
combine,
they turn the page into next season.
Even once we're in the summer, we're talking about schedule releases and things like that. And then we're talking about minicamp, OTAs. I'll be honest with you. I always looked at it as, yes, the games end, but there's always a part of the calendar, even for college. It's spring football. It's always something else. So, I don't know, Billy. I understand, yes, there's no games. And football is, it is a bunch of cold water over your head when you realize there's no football for a while.
Tough realization.
A real
slap in the face.
I know people treat February as that month, but I always said there's a lot to watch. If you like basketball, there's a lot to watch in February. So I think we should have a more positive view of this. We're just attacking the next thing. It's not that we don't have it, but we're attacking the next thing.
You're saying don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
That's, what I mean? And look forward to the next one. I mean, the season might be ending soon, but
maybe the sadness about the football season ending is the lack of real excitement. It feels like from the fans comparatively to last year.
This wasn't a Super Bowl that people wanted to see. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm talking more for the home team, right? Like it still appears, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm negative on this deal, but the anticipation for all that other stuff into the team building and trying to build off of the success that you had in 2023 going into 2024. Last year, it felt like there was a lot of optimism and excitement going into the offseason, right?
Yeah.
Because you came out, exceeded expectations, felt good in the neighborhood, felt like everything was right where you wanted it to be.
Because the way you ended, it was a very exciting summer because of the way we ended the season, the playoff win, the dominant performance in Dallas. I get it.
And now we're sitting here a week away from the Super Bowl, and your linebackers coach that was here for a year goes and gets plucked to go be a defensive coordinator. That means your linebackers were doing something right.
Yeah.
As Anthony Campanelli gets hired last night to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars and take over their defense.
Congratulations, Anthony, getting your shot here.
Listen, you had Jeff Hafley come in as the new DC from a year ago, and defense was pretty much top 10 in every statistical category.
Mm-hmm.
You saw progressive steps forward. However, dang, Armin, we were talking about it in Eggs and I yesterday on Carry the G, and we'll talk to him coming up today later on in the 10 o'clock hour. But is it just me, or is it just still a negative vibe it feels like around talking about Packers football from the disappointment, which is strange for an 11-win team going into the offseason?
It's strange, but I think it is. I think a lot of it is your last. Okay, so it's your last memory of the season, just like the year before. Even though you lose to that tough one in San Francisco, your last memory of the seasons, the last ones were positive, right? You're going in, and it's also perspective. I think this was the summer that last summer was the summer that Jordan Love got paid, so fans naturally start looking at him as more of a mercenary now. Okay, you got paid, now you have to deliver. 11 wins was fine, but it didn't look great. It's that grace period was fine for a while, but then once the excitement of playing well and winning happened, that perspective changed quickly, and it was more like you have to take next steps now. And you're right, Billy. It just became the vibes were much more negative to end the year for this Packers team than they were before. And I think does that permeate into the summer a little bit? It does. It shouldn't be that way, unfortunately. I think it was still a really good year for the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of things, but now their next steps are clear and the urgency ramps up, as Brian Gutekunst said, now to accomplish more things. And this is a fan base that it's going to always hold this team to a high standard. So the reality is you had a really nice first year with Love. Yeah. You made your way into the play. All that was positive, good vibes. Great. Now your quarterback's been paid. Now he's got to perform. Now the team has to perform. Now it's time to become an elite contender, because in the end, that's our only goal, right? So
back-to-back seasons back-to-back years in this week off in between the Super Bowl. The Packers season was ended on the road against the NFC champion, against the soon-to-be NFC champion, right?
So you're seeing right in your face where you want to get to, right? This is the example of what you want to do, where you want to get to. That's why I keep seeing everyone compare Brian Gutekunst now. Well, is he doing as good as Howie Roseman? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's just the way it is.
Do you feel better now than you did a year ago after getting bounced by the team that was getting ready to go to the NFC or go to the Super Bowl as the NFC title holder?
I think do I feel better? I think I feel the same.
Feel more confident. You feel like you're closer to seeing the Packers being in one of these games.
That's a tough one, Billy. I would say in some ways I do. There was the Packers won more games this year. They played well more consistently through the year, and they weren't healthy at their most important spots a lot throughout the year. So a healthy team, I believe, can come out and play. I also think that Jordan Love's going to have a better year next year than he did this year. So in that sense, I am, but I can't say it's burgeoning with excitement when I saw them play the way they did offensively in the playoffs. Now, the defense got me excited in the playoffs, but our only example was that wildcard game. And I wonder if it's the lingering disappointment from that Bears game as well. I mean, that might be the one that's kind of setting people, because the playoff path could have been different. And if it was, the storyline might have been different.
Well, and that's interesting you mentioned that, because Dano just hit that in. He said, could the 3-game losing streak have something to do with the negativity, especially with the loss to the Bears? Maybe that does have more into it, even though that game was a de facto 4th preseason game, right? However, just the way it plays out will leave a more sour taste in your mouth.
Right.
But as I come around to it, I still do think that we're closer to seeing this team in a Super Bowl than we were a year ago at this time. Now, hindsight, obviously 2020, you know what happens in the year after. But a year ago, you're also firing your defensive coordinator, and you're going to have to remake a little bit of the linebacker room. Your safety room is going to have to be completely different. You still are now. You feel much better a year ago about the quarterback situation, maybe than you did right now. You knew you were going to sign Jordan. The contract wasn't in hand, but you knew it was going to be
imminent.
It was going to be staggering.
Yeah,
you knew what it was going to look like. So you had that kind of cloud hanging over the entire 2024 season. I still think starting the year that way maybe had something to do with the herky-jerky nature of it, but that's neither here nor there. You see where there are more holes on the football team that were covered up after the 2023 win in Dallas than maybe this year showcased, right? Need for a little bit more ammunition on the outside. Need for one more legit playmaking pass rusher that you can go to and count on consistently.
Definitely.
Now you also know that, because last year you didn't fully know. You thought the Jair Alexander thing could be a problem again, but we weren't 1000% sure if that was going to be an issue. Now you know that one's gone. So I think you've answered some of those questions. However, you do the answers to the question is you need to get better and you need to go address it. So I think that part of it clearly being defined leaves me in a little bit better state now thinking about it, because they're open and it's clear as to where you can improve and to where this team needs to go to get to the level where they can be waiting this week out and traveling on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think a big thing in that regard was Jeff Hafley being a successful hire. I think that's very important. Like, there was a lot of question, like, okay, when the Packers were going to go get a new defensive coordinator, who was it going to be? And people weren't thinking Jeff Hafley's name, but he came in. He, I think, did a great job this year overall with the defense. He improved them in all the rankings, and they perform well. Individually, yeah, they've got to get better in certain positions. You mentioned pass rush and corner. But I think the last thing is, too, I think the next step from Jordan Love's got to take place for this team to go where they want to go.
Absolutely.
And I think we're waiting to see if that's going to happen. And I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm perfectly confident he can play even better than he has. I think we are satisfied knowing we got a certain level of quality at that position now. Like, okay, we know Jordan Love is at least this good, right? The contract's there. Can you take it to that next step now? Can you contend to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league and therefore make this team a contender? I think that's the next step, because in reality, that's what's got to happen, I think. To get the Packers to that next level. So.
Well, you need to be playing football at that position like you were in 2023, and clearly in 2024 you just weren't. Now, Mike and Merrill on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line, it's 877-794-1973. You can weigh in. It's wide open for you. He said, now it's or get off the pot time. Windows closing. They're only usually 3 or 4 cycles. Next year is year 3. Now, I would, and we talked about this earlier this week, I think this year might have been year 1. Next year truly is year 1. Next year is truly when that bad boy opens up. If you believe in year 3 of your starting quarterback, you're going to be taking an exponential leap. Year 2 in the system, year 2 on the field, would have thought this year. So you can convince me next year is year 2, but I don't believe your title window that Mike would be trying to speak of here, Armin. I don't think you realistically can open that when a quarterback had not played more than 57 snaps, I think it was, going into his first game starting.
Yeah, but that's the way fans look at these things. It's the linear progress. It's the cycles. It's the steps toward it. But as you know, Billy, that's not reality a lot of times, right? That's not reality. I mean, who knows? Jordan Love might have the best year of his career next year. He might have a nice long career, but next year might be the peak year of his career. We see that all the time. Fair. It might be in 2 years. It might not be. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, but I think a lot of fans, though, are pre-wired to think that way. Like, this is the cycle. This is the window. The first steps were fine. Now you have to take that and improve until you get to the top. Josh in the Fall says the whole Campanelli leaves is bigger than I think people realize. That's interesting. Dude brought a ton of heart and attitude to and that permeated beyond just the linebackers and the entire defense. You think that's a big loss, Billy?
It feels like it could be significant. Yeah. I mean, just because of also how well Edgerrin Cooper played, right? Like, and how much better Quay Walker was before he got hurt in Seattle. He was playing the best ball that we watched him play all year. And I don't think Campanelli had a lot to do with that. I think these guys trusting and believing the scheme also had something to do with it. So I think it is a loss. It also is tough, though, Armin, when you lose somebody a little bit later into the cycle, and this is a little bit later for the Packers to lose Campanelli because some guys start get picked over. I agree with most of Billy's takes, but man almighty, this one is bad.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
I don't know where that would be in reference to, but I appreciate you agreeing with most of the takes. And if you think one is BS, that's why the NicolaLaw.com talking text line is open at 877-794-1973 because the show's called No BS.
No BS.
So if you think that we're on that BS, you let us know and you weigh in on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line. This year, this Super Bowl week, after back-to-back seasons, the Packers lose in the playoffs to the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl. I feel like the Packers are closer to being in one of those games this year than you did a year ago.
Does that make you feel better or worse? Some people like that. Like knowing you lose to the team that goes all the way. It never made me feel better.
Never made me feel
But some people like that.
Never
you know what I mean? It's the same with the Brewers, right?
The Brewers did that every single year. Finally, that curse was broken.
Finally broken this year. So does that mean the Brewers win the World Series in 2025?
Absolutely. That's what it has to mean.
That's got to be.
It has to mean it.
Like, does that make us feel better? Like about the Brewers? It never made us feel better.
It never made me feel better. No, especially because most of those games you're looking like, yeah, we could have won that one. So then you could have beaten that team that made it to the Super Bowl or to the World Series. And it's like, yeah, we could have been there. It just makes me feel worse. Nice. It just keeps the cycle going.
I also think there's a flaw in that line of thinking because in the NFL, usually there are enough close games where you could have won a lot of those games.
Oh, fair.
Like that's just the way games go in the NFL. So almost anyone fan of anyone could take that and make that argument for themselves. You know, that line of thinking could work. They could convince themselves of that.
It is fun though when you then have the opportunity to at least just cushion yourself. Well, we lost the champs. We lost the champs. It is what it is. We lost the champs. That's going to be a participation trophy. Yes, though that feels a little bit better for the Milwaukee Brewers than it does Green Bay Packers because that's title town, right? You expect to be the one that's dunking all over different teams.
And Chuck and Wes Penn says that we're wired that way with windows because of our two previous quarterbacks. But I agree with the next season will be the first of the cycle.
Right, because I mean, Aaron and Brett also weren't competing for titles in their first year starting.
Right,
Aaron was 6-10.
No, it took. I think because Brett took those steps to it. That's what he's saying is that fans feel like that's the right way to do it. And Aaron sort of did with the Packers losing in the wild card, but it was a little ahead of schedule. Maybe like 2011, some people could argue was a better team. They're 15-1, all these things.
Oh, sure.
Sometimes on the wrong day you don't play well. Or you lose a close game in the playoffs. I mean, the Giants game wasn't. I mean, but I'm saying some days that's just the way those things go. I mean, progress isn't linear, right? It doesn't go up and it doesn't go down in perfect lines and a perfect bell curve, right? In this league especially. So
the only way that it might be a little bit more linear is in the parlay of the day.
Yeah, I mean,
just take a bunch of L's, just lose all over the place instantly, and then Week 3 turns around and it's a winning week with a pair of parlay of the day victories.
Yeah, you're smoking them now. Let's go, Billy. See, I think you're due for a couple. You had too many close losses. You're due for a couple. I said this to Mike as well. You're due for some, man. And now we're.
Mike was on the wrong side of the parlay of the day yesterday.
No, thankfully I'm coming up with the idea that he basically hedged against yours to give the
That's pretty nice of him to do.
To give us a team win.
Because he was on a heater.
To give us a team win.
He said Billy needs to get some dubs in the parlay of the day.
Yeah.
I'll throw my winning streak against it so he can get a dub. That's what a nice roommate does. That's what Mike Keller's going to do. That's a team player right there. 877-794-1973. When you're on our team, we give you opportunities to win $1,000. The nationwide keyword for this hour to put a grand in your hand contest is grand. You have until 55 past the hour to go to 973thegame.com, 1070thegame.com. Enter the word grand. That's grand at 973thegame.com, 1070thegame.com to enter the contest for this hour. He's Armin Sari, and I'm Billy Schmidt. Dave Gasper produces. That's who you talk to when you dial 877-794-1973. More text on this. Campanelli leaves to go to Jacksonville. Discuss that as well as the All-Star Game edition. For one, Damian Lillard. Armin, did you watch Pro Bowl games last night?
No.
Hold that.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, there we go.
So much for
that. A-block, 10 o'clock hour over. I was going to ask him about the big spike, but apparently we don't want to watch that. 877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
Like strippers' booties go, my verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version.
The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone, not on the dinner table. It's called the Underdog Fantasy app. Hey, it's Billy Schmidt. Underdog is the best place to be cashing in on all your takes for the big game. Which players are going to go off? Which ones are going to be ice cold? You can make an entry with just a few taps and have an opportunity to win up to 1,000 times your money. That sounds pretty fun, don't it? Just simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats, whether it's touchdowns, interceptions, yards, receptions, interceptions. You can create entries of all football picks, or you can mix and match across all different sports. You can also enjoy the basketball one during the big game too. And after the big game, NBA and NHL continue to roll. You can cook up some fire entries for your shot to win real cash prizes while watching the big game. Underdog is also the only pick 'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap that win now button, cash out whenever you want. And with the double flex options from Underdog, you can even take up to 2 L's and turn that entry into a W. This weekend on Underdog, looking at a lot of NBA tonight. Bucks are back in action. Giannis hires, always a good play. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app today, sign up with promo code Billy, and deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code Billy. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Oh, hello. This is John Kuhn. You know me as a football aficionado, but did you also know that I'm quite the fastener nerd? Indeed, I could talk 9 till noon about carbon steel socket head cap screws. Not only Packer Fastener has real fastener nerds who can talk nuts, bolts, screws all day long. They're the brainy industrial supply experts you need if you're a contractor, a fabricator, or even a manufacturer. So go with the smart choice and keep it real with PackerFastener.com.
KB here for Pep's Draft House Pizza, the official pizza of the Drew and KB show. The Taproom Double, the Prohibition Special, the Brawl and Buffalo Chicken, or the 5-meat mash. These are just some of the big flavors Pep's brings to your kitchen. Preheat the oven, turn on the game, grab your favorite beer, and make your house a draft house today.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Ready to tackle your next project? Discover the power of Masterforce tools today. From high-performance power tools to rugged hand tools and much more in between, Masterforce delivers the reliability you need to tackle the toughest projects. Join countless customers who trust Masterforce for its quality and performance, and pick up a new tool today. Masterforce. Power, performance, durability. Only at Menards.
Most people think buying or selling their home, commercial lot, or vacant land is simple and easy. Those of us who have dabbled in real estate before know it's not always that straightforward. I hear plenty of stories of high-pressure situations, last-minute changes, and other curveballs, forcing people to make quick decisions without the expertise of a lawyer. That's why I'm sending all my friends and family to Greg Urchel Real Estate Group. Greg is a practicing real estate lawyer with a team of real estate experts to make your next real estate purchase, sale, or lease seamless. Whether it's for your own private home or your business, Greg Urchel Real Estate has you covered. Don't wait until it's too late. Get in touch with Urchel Real Estate.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe on your coffee table this cold and flu season feels like... It feels like being bold enough to laugh your weird laugh in front of everyone.
That was a good one.
With Clorox, clean feels confident. Clean feels good. Use as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy. And it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Need inspiration? Shop Pick and Save for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $2 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You'll find low prices on thousands of items. The yellow and red tags mean you'll save big on sparkling ice water, Kroger brand chips, and so much more. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
An elegant, intimate experience in fine dining is right here at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. The Copper Oak Steakhouse and Lounge features choice cuts of Angus beef and fresh seafood prepared to perfection over an open flame grill, complemented by an extensive selection of fine wines and signature martinis. A passion for detail in exceptional dining. The Copper Oak Steakhouse and Lounge at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Open Thursday through Sunday. Call and make your reservations today.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, and if you've tried to lose weight in the past and it just hasn't worked, New Year's resolutions might not be your thing, but I got one with some help. It's the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've been able to change the lives of thousands of people with their incredible metabolic reset program. If you've tried losing weight before, you haven't had the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day without exercising, without prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There is no better way to lose weight than with Milwaukee Weight Loss, and there is no better time than right now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. The caring team at Milwaukee Weight Loss is trying to help you thrive in 2025. So let them. Call for your free weight loss consultation today at 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for a free weight loss consultation. It's 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on The Game and that Billy Schmidt sent you.
The Game.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. Let's make a night you won't remember. I'll be the one you won't forget.
No BS on The Game. Billy and Sarian hanging out with you statewide, and always appreciate the interaction on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line and the YouTube comments as well. It's where Crossfire hits us up. Campanelli may have also been a big reason why our run defense improved so much. That alludes to Anthony Campanelli leaving as the linebackers coach for the Green Bay Packers, going to go take over the defensive coordinator position for Liam Cohen in Duval down there with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That guy's something else, man. That's an interesting situation down there. He's kind of goofy. That doesn't mean he can't be a great coach. People are saying the same thing about Sirianni when he first got in there, and
that's true.
But you got to admit, it's kind of something else right there. But Campanelli's a good one. I'm done worrying about this stuff, Billy. I used to worry about this all the time. I used to worry about assistants getting plucked for my favorite teams.
Mm-hmm.
I used to worry how we're going to survive. You got to trust that your organization, your coaching staff will have guys in place to identify good coaches to promote those positions that can still do a good job, right? The head of the snake in defensively is still Jeff Hafley. I believe Campanelli was a good coach, but I also believe the Packers can sustain a loss like that and try and, there are some guys you wish you didn't have to, that would have to leave. But the reality is, if you have any sort of success, teams are going to try and get guys, and that's just the reality for every team. So I don't worry about that like I used to. I used to worry about that. Good for Anthony. I think we'll get a good coach in there, whoever it's going to be, right?
Campanelli has gone through a heck of a coaching run where he starts as after finishing his career at his alma mater of Rutgers, went to be a linebackers coach at Fair Lawn High School in 2006. Then spent the next 4 or 5 years as a defensive coordinator for 2, offensive coordinator for 2 at Don Bosco Prep in New Jersey.
Big one. Yeah.
Pretty solid high school there. Then went back to Rutgers as a defensive assistant, flipped over to the offensive side and coached tight ends for 2 years, wide receivers for a year, DBs at Boston College, then was the defensive coordinator at Boston College before taking the linebackers coaching job at Michigan under Jim Harbaugh for a year. That's when he ended up going to the Miami Dolphins and leaving in 2020 and got himself into the NFL. It's a pretty quick jump. However, my man has worked his way up and being able to earn a spot like this. They don't come around very often, and it does show that there are a lot of people that do believe he had a lot to do with not only the Packers run defense, but I would assume Edgerrin Cooper's performance late into the season shines very well on him, as well as what Isaiah McDuffie and Eric Wilson ended up doing, playing well and well enough for the Packers to be one of the better run defenses in football while playing without their starters, without their two best guys for a majority of the season, whether it was one for Quay Walker for some reason or Edgerrin Cooper for another reason.
Yeah, I think his unit definitely did a good job this year. I think overall it was a highlight of the defense. I think that's probably why he was looked at to get a job like this. There's no doubt about it. But I also like to think, Billy, the talent of those guys is going to be the same no matter who comes and coaches them, right? I like to think that, Edgerrin Cooper is a great talent, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a great talent no matter who coaches him. So there's no doubt about it. He was a really good part of this defense, and his unit played pretty well this year. I think we're all happy about the way the linebackers played in general.
I like this one from Jeff in a truck. It doesn't make me feel better, but Philly was right there for the taking. Our D did their job. You can't score 23 points in if you can't score 23 points in any game, your chances of getting a dub, not good. I'm with you on that, Jeff. I also had Philly crowd booing their own team and didn't finish the job. Great take on losing Campanelli, especially so late in the cycle. Also, our draft picks really pale in comparison to Philly's. Goody needs to be better. I'm not worried. I trust the organization to do what needs to be done. Philadelphia did get year one impact from their rookies. Right? That is not disputable. I like the Packers rookie draft class that they grabbed in 2024, but I can't dispute what Jeff said, where, I mean, you get Cooper DeJean, who comes in, and McAfee's putting up an exciting Whites promo because him and Reed Blankenship are like taking over their entire secondary. He became the nickelback, Armin, and they became the best defense in football after the bye. Quinyon Mitchell, they drafted in the first round.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
He's played almost all year long on the outside. Those are tough players and tough spots to fill instantly and get immediate impact. Then not only just impact, legit high-level play.
Well,
it's very true. Roseman did a fantastic job this year.
Not just this year. I mean, talk about Jalen Carter right from before. I mean, Jalen Carter is as good as anyone else, I think, in the league at his position when he wants to be. There's no doubt about it. So you stack up the drafts. Yeah, he's hit on probably more of those first-round drafts than Goody, and maybe that's the big difference right now in terms of rosters. I do agree that game was there for the taking. We talked about that even that night. You talked about it on Packers OT. The D played well enough, and I really think the Eagles were about to fumble the bag a little bit if the Packers could have taken advantage. A situation where obviously we didn't, and the Eagles survived that night, but they didn't play their best ball, especially offensively. Yeah, the Packers defense came up to play. Maybe it was an opportunity missed. You could say that about a lot of games, in the playoffs, Billy. And I think you could say that about this one. Maybe an opportunity missed. The Packers could have picked them off that night if they played a little bit better themselves, but it didn't happen.
Seems like there's a lot of revisionist history here in the national sphere going into this Super Bowl.
In what sense? I'm curious to hear what you say about that.
I mean, watching Philly in game one of the wild card round, they were far from dominant.
We didn't know what was going on with Jalen Hurts.
They were very ripe for the taking.
Yeah.
They almost blew it against the LA Rams.
Definitely almost blew it. Yeah.
Now I'm hearing, I don't know how the Chiefs, I don't know. This roster is just amazing. Coward said there may 9 Hall of Famers on this team. What are we talking about here?
Okay,
like they're fans, they're good. I don't see the 85 Bears, right? Like I don't see the 07 Patriots. Oh, wait, maybe if we do, we see them lose in the Super Bowl. I think they're good.
Yeah.
They're very, very good. They got a great roster and they got a fantastic running back, but I think we're starting to see some people jump over ship onto the other side, or they just really, really want somebody to be able to dethrone the champ.
Well, I think it helps. I think it's both of those things involved really quick. I think it helps their last game was their most dominant one. The last thing we saw from them was their most dominant masterpiece.
Easy to dominate when you get 4 takeaways.
If they did that against the Packers and put up a 50 burger or double nickels or whatever they put up, if they did that against the Packers and then had their performance to barely make it into the Super Bowl with his I don't know.
Oh, so if you're saying they're flip-flop, maybe the conversation's different?
Possibly.
Yeah, I could see that.
People also want the Chiefs to lose. Everyone wants somebody to beat the Chiefs, even if it's the Eagles, except for you. You don't care. I mean, you're no Eagles fan.
No. Gangrene is not going to be celebrated by me. I'm not going to be joining the Bird Gang for this upcoming weekend. However, very, very interested to see how the officiating performs. 877-794-1973. He's Armin Sari and I'm Billy Schmidt. Doug Russell stops in with an update on the other side. And we're back right after this.
Time bomb drinking till the night's gone. Get your hands off of this glass last cone.
Brian Butch here. Iron Jock and I are both feeling super. So here's a phenomenal promo on their hoodies and joggers. Now through the big game on February 9th. Take 35% off with promo code SB35. 4-way stretch, stain wicking, odor eliminating hoodies and joggers for 35% off with code SB35. Plus, if you buy 2 or more hoodies or joggers, Iron Jock will include a free gift. Now through February 9th. Go to ironjock.com for details. That's ironjlc.com.
KB, let's talk about your neck of the woods, up north.
The North. Supper clubs, campfires, and North Brandy from our friends at Central Standard.
Central Standard's North Brandy is aged for over 2 years in fire-kissed oak barrels, then finished in bourbon barrels, which mellows the brandy to a sweet and unrivaled smoothness.
Perfectly balanced and aged.
North Brandy from Central Standard Craft Distillery, locally made brandy from the state that consumes the most brandy.
Available at retailers and supper clubs all over Wisconsin.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
Next on Metro's Nada Yada Island podcast.
I almost fainted when the 4 new bombshells arrived. 4 free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G phones at Metro.
No way.
And finding out the 4th line is free. Oh, things got heated.
That's wild. Join Metro and get 4 free Samsung 5G phones. Only at Metro.
Plus tax. Bring 4 numbers and an ID and sign up for any Metro Flex plan. Not available currently at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Flawless Flooring installs luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, modern laminate, or carpeting. And Flawless Flooring has artisan craftsmen who refinish existing wood floors. Our employee-only team restores stained, worn, dented, gouged, even burned hardwood floors to better than brand new. Better than because today's finishes are far more wear-resistant. Flawless's craftsmen replace severely damaged flooring, keeping what can be restored and even expanding existing hardwood floors meticulously and seamlessly, blending old and new. Sensory Underload, FlawlessFlooringLLC.com.
Hospitalized Medicine has a lifelong prescription for every symptom, and each prescription causes more symptoms. Total Health works to restore health so you don't need their pills or treatment. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com.
Refi Trust allows you to refinance matured savings bonds, certificates of deposit, and whole life insurance cash value assets into secure money that cannot be attached to by creditors, nursing homes, or Medicaid. And Refi Trust does not impact your eligibility for Medicaid assistance or long-term care. Refi Trust is intelligent asset transition. Refi Trust is intelligent asset protection. With Refi Trust, you pay nothing. 0 fees, 0 taxes. Refi Trust takes just minutes. We do all the work. Refi Trust. Your assets, your choice. RefiTrust.com.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
What does it feel
feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refunds belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File.
Coming up Friday on the Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 on the game. Less than a week away from the NBA trade deadline and just a couple of weeks away from spring training. So we'll give you an update on both fronts. Plus, Matt LePay will join us in advance of their game at Northwestern. The Mike Keller Show, Friday, noon to 3 on the game.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
We're ready to roll, baby!
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
Packers news, the coaching staff continues to get a makeover. The Jacksonville Jaguars poaching Packers linebackers coach Anthony Campanile to be their new defensive coordinator. That's a big loss for the Packers. Anthony Campanile is one of those guys that just fires you up.
He was awesome to watch training camp. One of our texters said the same thing. Like when all training camp, we're watching him and telling stories about how much juice he's bringing to the field. And then the linebackers go and play that well. Not surprising that he gets a look, but yeah, it is. It might be a bigger loss than we think, but come on, Jeff. Proud of Jeff Halfley. Let's go find somebody. Let's go find somebody good. Let's go find somebody good.
You can't teach energy, though. Some guys just have that juice.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You can try and get it out of certain guys, but I don't know. Some guys just.
I just love about as Jersey as it gets.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that he's about as Italian Jersey. He is straight out of Central Casting for somebody who wanted to be one of Tony Soprano's henchmen.
Yeah,
who probably would have been popped in a.
So was Mike Pettin. So. I'm just making a point. I love the character of him, but we need performance too. So let's find a good coach. We'll find one.
Yeah, he's got Matthew Bevilacqua written all over him.
No, I'm not going to apply. I don't
Why
think.
not?
First of all, I'm not qualified. Second of all, I don't think I don't think I'd get it. Third of all, I don't think I can stand the heat from Packers fans if I was a coach. Could you?
You know, that's that
Getting
last part.
dragged online. That's true. That would be a tougher
So your
part.
long snapper experience isn't going to help you with coaching linebackers?
Let me ask you: is there a long snapper coach?
Well done.
Are there long snapper coaches?
Rich Bisaccia.
Yeah. Well, he's a special teams coach.
Yeah.
He doesn't just coach long snapping.
Coaches the specialist.
If it was that important of a job and it was that hard to do, then there would be. Thank you.
Interesting. Men's basketball, Wisconsin is at Northwestern tomorrow afternoon. The voice of the Badgers, Matt LePay, guest of the I have it in my notes here. The No BS show.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Stinks.
He's still trying to figure out the Big Ten.
I think you have a lot of really good teams. I'm still not convinced there's a great one. I guess you could make that argument nationally in college basketball, although Bruce Pearl's team looks really good, and there are some others. You know, Marquette at its best. I think can play with anybody.
And they play tomorrow night on National Marquette Day against two-time defending champion UConn, a night game. Gus Johnson will be on the call. So you get the Gus-gasms all over Fiserv Forum, so you may have to clean up after
Saturday
that.
night at Fiserv, man.
So I was wrong. Tomorrow's National Marquette Day. Oh, people are going to be drunk.
And a Saturday night, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Lubed up.
Now, you get it right. There's
all the National Marquette Days that I participated in college, luckily, were 1 o'clock tips.
Most of them are. This is like having
That's when
homecoming
you,
at night.
Oh, wow.
That's when you would.
That's going to be a fun
It is.
time.
That's when you would collect everyone's tickets as well, because you could get a pitcher of beer for $1 at Caffrey's after.
No
the
way I
ticket.
would have made it to tip off if it was.
Sounds fantastic.
Also, there's like a color stripe out going on, so know your section, know your color.
What color are you guys wearing?
I'm wearing whatever I want because I'll be sitting at home.
Just thought you were going to say blue. I don't know.
No, there is a light blue, dark blue, gold, and the thing is, you know,
are we trying too hard with the light blue
then?
Well, they call it championship blue.
Championship blue.
Why do you call it championship blue?
I think because they won the championship, and that guy, I don't really know.
100 years ago.
It was not 100 years ago. It was almost 50.
It's hard enough to just get everybody to wear one thing, let alone the two. The stripe out does look cool when it's executed properly.
I want to say this. Now we had a lot of
fire
debate.
3 in there. I think you're asking for issues.
If you remember,
let's just wear what you want and see if you're right.
First of all, a lot of Marquette fans have one of each color. I maintain. Second of all, we had a lot of debate about the whiteout at Lambeau, and it's like you should to buy a white shirt. This is like a show long thing.
Yeah.
Marquette selling
Shamed a lot
for
of people
12.
for that one.
You can get your T-shirt for $12.99 at the Spirit Shop. They're selling discounted shirts of all the colors. You can't
I like that.
You
Okay.
can't have $12 to spend on a T-shirt. I don't
Probably
believe
14 after taxes and everything. But yeah,
14.
I like that. That'll be available at the Spirit Shop. They should do it outside of the section at Fiserv Forum. Hey, you're sitting here, $13, boom, out the door, you get the shirt. That would be the easiest way, because I do
Fair
think
enough.
you're
Fair
asking
enough.
a lot of thought. All right, make sure we're sitting here, make sure we're here. That's a lot of logistical deals.
It really is.
That'd be
Not
awesome.
that
though.
hard.
I'm excited to watch.
Not
tomorrow
hard.
night.
Give me your section. It's a map. I'll give it to you right now. You give me your section of Fiserv. I'll tell you right now what
That is
color.
a drop.
Okay. Meanwhile, tip-off tomorrow at Northwestern is set for 1 o'clock here on the game in Milwaukee.
I'm tuned
Pre-game
into that
coverage
one.
starts at noon. The Badgers will be wearing championship red from 1941.
Can you prove they wore red against Oregon? They beat Oregon in that 41
They
final.
did. Good.
Was that
Good pull. Look at that.
That's just
There's got to be some video of it. Now it might be black and white, so
Oh,
it might
there-
be difficult to
there is.
tell if it's red or.
I've looked. Every now and then,
Should've known.
once in a while, I like to give a peek behind the curtain, and we lean in pretty hard on being the Packers' flagship here, and we're very proud of it.
Heard
We
of
should
that,
be proud of it. And so Red Hot comes to me last week and says, you know what, we want to continue on with the Packers theme. We have Packers Prime, which will hit in May.
There we go.
We've got the off-season podcast, but he says, you know what, we want to put Tales from 1265 on the air Saturday.
As it should have been. Yes.
Love the idea. Good way to showcase it and everything. We were going to launch tomorrow. Badgers basketball.
Oh, come on.
And I had this clip that was all ready to go that I was going to use as a teaser, and I still have it in the holster if you want to hear it.
Oh, I'd absolutely want to hear it. Yeah, absolutely want to
But
hear
that was it. One playoff win between Vince Lombardi's final game and November 27th, 1991, when team president Bob Harlan, 2 years into the job, pulled the plug on general manager Tom Bratz and named New York Jets executive Ron Wolf the team's new general manager. But Wolf got something that Bratz never had. Bratz had the shared responsibility over personnel with the head coach. That was not the model that Wolf would have in Green Bay, as stated by Harlan on day one.
Every major football decision will be made by Ron Wolf.
And he meant it, because as Harlan observed years later, nothing else the team was doing was working.
We were a stairway going down, getting worse every year.
Oh, I love that.
Wow, what a bar.
We were a stairway going
going down.
I told you linear. See, I told you the linear progress. Everyone loves to look at it that way. Wow, that's an amazing bar. It is. Yeah.
I also am glad that the last president, now far before my Packers fandom had begun officially on the earth, I am glad that the last president before
Harlan?
Ron Wolf, the one that comes in or the one before Bob Harlan, Tom Bratz. I'm glad that he has that name. I'm glad that it's such a recognizable, fun name to be able to
Tom
say.
Bratz.
The old
GM.
It feels like the most Wisconsin name that you possibly could have. Yeah,
it's the most.
He's running the whole thing, dude.
Bratz.
He's picking
If
the
only it was
players.
Tom
He's gonna have to.
Cheese
He's gonna run the organization. Mr. Bratz has
What
got
about
it. It's all good.
that? What do you think of that Bratz guy? Bratz.
Now,
It is. It's
Bob
true.
Harlan
You gotta
didn't
get
think
rid of
much
that
him 'cause
Bratz
he fired
guy.
him.
But
Him and Mikey Cheese Curds over there just making decisions.
But it's
We
true
did have
that
Joey Bag of Donuts for a while.
through the 80s, the Packers had sort of an unorganized corporate structure in that sense, right? Like they had their president.
Well-
they didn't have before Bratz, it was, I think,
Tom
player
Bratz was the-
procurement,
well,
right?
Well, Tom Bratz was the de facto general manager.
Sure, but it was like he was executive VP of personnel or player.
Whatever the title was. But the president, I mean, you had Robert Perrins in there.
Yeah.
And
Another good name.
There was a guy, Chuck Hutchinson, that was the director of player procurement. So there was different.
but Tom Bratz was the GM.
I
He
do
just
feel
didn't have the official GM title.
I feel Ron Wolf, his best thing was he organized those roles, right? Perfectly. Coach, GM, organizational structure. Boom, there we go. That's how we're going to do it.
That was Bob. Bob said when he came
What
in.
did I say?
You said
I
you said
meant Bob. I'm sorry. I meant Bob. Yeah.
Bob Harlan, so the episode 1 is called The Rebirth.
Yeah.
And that it kind of goes into how it all fell apart in the 70s and 80s and how Bob Harlan with Ron Wolf, and then with Mike Holmgren, and then with Brett Favre, and then with Reggie White, built the organization into a Super Bowl champion and the organization that we all recognize today. Because if you, what was the first year that you remember Packers football?
Remember being at Packers, I would say probably 91 or 92.
Okay,
right?
so
I have real kind of yeah.
So that's kind of the age cutoff where if you're under the age of 40, you wouldn't recognize the Packers in the 70s and 80s, and it was hard to watch. And
I'm glad I didn't have to,
except for that blip magical year of '89 with Mikowski and stuff. But it was kind of
but they didn't even make the playoffs.
Right, they were 10-6. They didn't make the playoffs, but it didn't prove to be a foundational year. It was a flash in the pan type year. Yeah,
and that was Lindy Infante.
Yeah,
and
Coach of the year, Lindy Infante.
Yeah, but it didn't last, like you said, and it fell apart pretty soon after that. And Bob Harlan demanded better. And he got better. And one of the things that he insisted upon was when he hired Ron Wolf insisted upon, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to need
full control.
I need full control. And Bob Harlan said, okay.
All right. There you go.
And
it's yours.
So that was the genius of Bob Harlan.
That's fantastic.
One of the geniuses.
So Badger basketball interrupts us getting that to start this week. When do we officially launch?
Next week.
All right. There we go.
One more week.
Next week leading into the Super Bowl the next day.
That's fantastic.
Unless there's a Badgers basketball game, and I have to go back and look at the schedule, and then I'll tell you that it'll come next week.
Well, I'm excited for that update next week, and I'm excited for the one at 11. Dougie, appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Travis in Waukesha. Every stairway going down is a stairway going up if you turn around. That was good. That was absolutely profound.
It actually feels like it should be more finger snaps for a poetry slam. Damn, Travis.
Man, that was.
And by the way, Doug, there is a Badger game on February 8th on the Saturday there.
What time?
Noon.
So it'll start in 2 weeks. Tales from 1265.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
The Saturday podcast launch. Thank you, Dave.
Peyton O'Connell.
Badgers at Iowa.
You want to plug it one more time? Peyton O'Connell. I just joined. Is there a new Packers documentary?
Well, we are in production for another season of Packers or Tales from 1265. So the next episode that we will release will be on the founder, Curly Lambeau.
Yeah.
And then the one after that will be on the Ice Bowl.
But you should go back all the way to season 1.
Right.
Tales 1265. I mean, you can listen to every single one of them. That's what's getting brought to the radio.
Yeah, in 2
So
weeks.
that's part of it. In 2 weeks. Or maybe 3. Yeah.
Maybe 3. I had to look at the schedule. Yeah. We didn't look at the schedule this week.
Check maybe
the
4.
Badgers play every Saturday in February.
If you listen to this station,
so it's
Dave knows.
I know because he's co-host of the JK Security Solutions basketball post-game show.
If you listen to the station and all day, every day, you will eventually hear everything. So
that's what we're saying.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You will eventually
I like
hear
that plan.
There you go. Just get a little more dedicated, and you'll hear every single thing that we have.
It's your fault. It's your problem.
I appreciate it. We'll see you in
do.
an hour.
Thanks, Doug.
Oh, that is fantastic here. 877-794-1973.
See, I love taking, little trips down memory lane. Billy, as you know, I love getting in that boat and going down that river. And the one guy to do it with the most is Doug Russell, right?
By far.
That's why I love that. I don't even 10 steps away from Doug's office. So I can hey, Doug, remember that one time? Remember this? What'd you think about this air up? It's just kind of fun to
And
do.
he's got some audio clip in the vault.
Oh, yeah.
He has the audio
moment.
for it. Hold on one second. Let me see if I got this
Let me
here.
just pull it up. It's right here. Yeah.
And Doug does have a fantastic way of saying, let me see if I have this here, knowing damn well he's got it.
He's got it all digitally too, which is the way to have everything now. So it's either on his computer or it's in little flash drives. But I do wish
that hustle's incredible.
I do wish there was a whole where he had just stacks of tapes and he had a tape rack. When Gruden would have quarterback,
the quarterback school,
just all the tape, putting in different tapes and running it.
You know that we can do this all online. No, I think this is way better.
I got tape.
a lot more understandable.
Yeah.
God, that's fantastic.
Oh man, it's so good.
In the midst of, as we were going down down memory lane, it is fascinating to think of a certain vintage of Packers fans. As Doug asked me right there, when was the first time that you remember consciously Packers football?
Sure.
Preseason 2001, Packers Dolphins.
Yeah, everyone's got their time. Preseason 2001. Was that your first game you went to?
That was the first game that I went to. That was the first time that I was in the stadium, and that was it's one of the first pictures that I have of me at the stadium consciously. Do remember, but I was at the game when the Packers beat the Vikings in the Moss game, or the he did what game the year before, 2001 preseason. That was the first time that I realized the team hotel thing. We stayed in Appleton.
Sure.
And being at that point, I think it was the DoubleTree
Paper Valley. What do they
in
call
the
it?
Paper Valley area where the Miami Dolphins had been staying. So there was an understanding of, now this whole business thing, now we're really understanding how big and where this all touches to. And then a couple of years later, obviously they do the rebirth of a legend when they make the renovations to.
Yeah,
and none of that happens if it's not for everything that Doug talks about in details in Tales from 1265.
You know, the Packers, and it might be sort of saccharine and sappy for some, but the Packers truly are the greatest story in sports, man. I always say that, and that story is always evolving, right? We talk about the way Bob Harlan changed things with the corporate structure, with assigning roles. In a lot of way, Mark Murphy left his mark on it too with that presser when he said, "Hey, it's a triangle. I know what I'm doing."
Oh, no doubt, yes.
So and Ed Policy's going to have his legacy now, whatever it may be. Hopefully, it's a great one. We believe it will be. Ed Policy's going to have his legacy as a leader as well. So it's one of those things where it's the story continues to be told, and we hope that it continues to be a great one with championships and things like
I
that.
think we've talked about it enough that the organization is going under such a drastic change that way at the top.
Well, that's a good question, Billy. I don't know. I think people understand it and accept it, but I think some people, I think Packer fans.
Or does now the corporation that is the Green Bay Packers run so well that wouldn't matter?
Boy, that's a great question. I think that you always have to be vigilant in those positions to make sure you're continually moving forward in terms of a business and a football operation.
Yeah.
I think Mark was really good at understanding that. I mean, whatever some people might have felt about Mark Murphy at certain points in time, you can't really argue that he put together a good football organization and he put together a good business, right? He was constantly trying to expand the business of Lambeau Field, the business of it with the atrium, with the snow slide and all these different things, the sledding hill and Titletown District and all these things. I think there's a sense from some fans like, we love the Packers because we love football and we're cheering for like most fans would tell you they care about the football team first. They don't care about the fiscal returns and all those things. But those things are all important parts of the Packers remaining solvent. I think the NFL though, as an organization, as a league, has built itself into such a behemoth, Billy, and the Packers are part of that certain doomsday scenarios that people used to worry about, with the Packers being a small market and losing their tread in the league, aren't really a thing that you worry about anymore because of.
You're saying like fiscally and economically.
Because
100%. No, that I agree with.
I think that's a baseball thing more than a football thing because of the way their league is structured. Runs around the salary cap, those things aren't really things we worry about anymore. You can win from any market, and the Packers, I think, still remain one of the more fiscally solvent teams in all pro sports. We know that they're selling tickets forever. We know that, do we take those things for granted?
That's not going to be an issue. No.
Nothing. Yeah, maybe nothing lasts forever, Billy. But I do think that the Packers have set themselves up in a sense where you don't worry about those things anymore. That being said, most fans would tell you we care about the winning.
I was going to say, all due respect, I don't give a rip. Right? Like I know they're going to make a bunch of money.
We care about winning football games, right? Yeah.
And anybody attached to the NFL is making a bunch of money anymore, right? Like teams going defunct and bankrupt, not a thing anymore in today's league, but just from the change at the top. I mean, we mentioned it with Mark Murphy changing the structure as to the power dynamics of the organization. Obviously now Ed Policy is walking in as arguably the most powerful president of the Green Bay Packers organization,
right,
since Bob Harlan.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, if before somebody just walking into the job, right? Because obviously Mark then transitioned that job and that structure towards him. So it's interesting. There's a lot to it, and we're going to learn a whole lot in this year. I also think it's something that Aaron Nagler could weigh in on.
Can't wait to hear what he says.
Minutes.
I do think there's a sense, Billy, from some fans that would figure, like, let's say you're buying a house, right? And it's a brand new house. It's been built 2 years ago and the seller sells. Yeah. It's like, is it a turnkey operation? Like where you just walk right in and the car's already
furnished,
running,
no problems.
I think it's a little naive to think that would always be that easy. There's always new challenges to face when the world changes that Ed Policy is going to have to navigate.
Well, and
he's going to set his own story. We don't know much about what that is yet. And it's sort of exciting in a way.
And even if that house is turnkey, you're going to learn this, right?
There's some things you want to change about it, right?
And fresh coat of paint, right? Like, I mean, you got to change, definitely changing the sheets, right? Probably getting maybe a new couch,
Yeah.
The carpet's clean.
You get the carpets clean. Maybe get those ripped out. Like
Yeah.
a different pattern there.
Yeah,
like
fresh
you'll start putting your own additions on it. You'll start putting your own looks on it
welcome
and
mat.
flavor. New welcome mat. Maybe one that says, "Hey, hope you brought wine." That's the one that my wife still jokes about and laughs at. And then I ran over it with the snowblower last year.
Yeah. You better buy a new one. Man, you better.
That son of a gun got
You've been going on
delivered
Target.
before I left.
Yeah, I was gonna
before I
say.
got home from work.
It's
that
on
day.
its
Along
way.
with a fresh bottle of wine.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
That's coming in due time.
None of
More on
those,
that
none of
coming
those
up.
ones on sale either at Pick and Save. You better get a nice bottle too. Don't be going to the sale bin like I do. All right.
Sales bit like I do.
Yeah.
877-794-1973. No, I just get my bottles from Heller.
I was gonna
There
say
you
Mike's got it. Someone asked when is that exactly at Policy Takeover? It's July 25. Just July. It'll be
this July.
At the annual shareholders meeting is when he'll
This
officially
July
retire.
he'll take over as the new man in charge.
I'll say this really quick. That made
Ed
me think.
Policy also jacked.
Is he? I was going to say, we don't know much about Ed yet.
Jacked.
So we're going to learn about him, his influence, how he wants to go about business.
Yep.
We're going to hear from him more as we go forward and see what kind of, and then the shareholders meeting made me think. It's true that most fans care most about the football operation, but I don't know any other fan base filling up a hotel and then Lambeau Field for the shareholders meeting.
And tailgating it.
Going through the fiscal
Tailgating
year
it.
and all these things, it was hilarious.
That was my favorite. Right after practice that day, I'm sitting there. There's like 5 people setting up grills. What are you guys doing? Oh, we got 3 hours for the shareholders meeting.
I remember
Might as well cook some brats.
I remember going as a kid to my buddy's dad was a shareholder, so we went to the shareholders meeting. He could take extra, so I went with him. I was 12 years old. I was jacked. I had full jersey, cheese head, like I'm going to a game. Then I'm like, wow, they're taking questions. That they used to take questions from fans. You used to be able to line up in 8 different spots.
Poor Armin must have been just salivating.
I was thinking about it. Should I ask a question?
Maybe you can this year.
What am I going to ask Bob Harlan about? I don't know. Maybe this year. Yeah, maybe I
this
can.
year.
Maybe this is the year.
Maybe this is the year. As hopefully, I assume we're gonna be right there again for Packers training camp. So, and now you're gonna be getting the call on up.
Man, I guess so.
Some earlier drives. I'll pick you up about 5:30, and we'll send it on up there. All right, 877-794-1973. Matt in Milwaukee did ask a very interesting question. If Armin Sarian is the Marquette fan of Milwaukee, telling people how to buy that they should be able to buy a T-shirt. He can't buy tickets for National Marquette Day. Jeez Louise. How many National Marquette Days have you missed? Not many?
I haven't counted, Billy. I don't know how many I've missed total. It's one of those things. I used to have season tickets. Now I don't. So, life changes when you get older. You can't make it to every game.
But does National Marquette Day still kind of reunion feel for you and the boys?
In some ways, but I think it's not like where I would know a lot of my friends are going to be there for National Marquette Day.
We got to plan next year, National Marquette Day. Your boys are getting back at that.
I think that would be a good thing, Billy. I think we should.
But you guys all got families now. You need to set that day a year in advance.
Yeah, okay.
And put it on the calendar.
That's true.
Everybody gets it in the app. It's up on the fridge.
Right. Because as you get older and farther away,
boys are going to Caffrey's and getting lit up on
that.
National Marquette Day.
I like it, Billy. I like it.
877-794-1973. It's no BS on the game.
I love myself. That was the key. Now it's switching back. I woke up in Chris Brown's body. So how this shit turned into Freaky Friday.
Farm, and you learn to handle actual BS. But outside the farm, the last thing you tolerate is BS. And it's why Packer Freight's dedicated team of farm boys and honest Midwesterners is the no BS, no excuse logistics partner you can count on. Nobody works harder to manage your shipping demands from upfront planning and quick capacity to down the line delivery. And that's no bull. Trust me, John Kuhn. Get a rapid and transparent quote now at packerfreight.com. That's packerfreight.com.
Preset. Save.
We're already a preset in your car, I assume.
Preset number 1. Never a doubt.
Well, we've taken that concept of you pledging your undying loyalty to us.
I demand absolute allegiance, no exception.
And we've brought it to the iHeartRadio app.
Simply click the button labeled Preset.
From that point forward,
our station gets anchored to the top of your app.
97.3 The Game. Added.
Milwaukee's home for sports and stuff. On air at 97.3 FM. Streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
The 2025 Wisconsin football schedule is here, and you should be too. Season tickets are on sale now, so don't miss your chance to jump around at Camp Randall Stadium this fall. Last year, 6 of 7 home games were sellouts, proof that there's nothing like game day with the Badgers. Secure your spot for marquee matchups against Ohio State, Washington, and Iowa, and enjoy the best value to see Wisconsin football in action. For more information and to get your season tickets, visit ewbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe on your coffee table this cold and flu season feels like... It feels like being bold enough to laugh your weird laugh in front of everyone.
That was a good one.
With Clorox, clean feels confident. Clean feels good. Use as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where TurboTax Expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Members, it's here. Milo's Rewards Week deals for members only are up for grabs. Get up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Plus, members save $10 per gallon of Stainmaster Performance Interior Paint. So what are you waiting for? Join for free today and get instant access to Milo's Rewards Week deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Feels new, fresh. I like it.
I love my presets.
Presets are the best.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
It's just like my car radio on my phone.
Find your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
What are the next steps for the Packers after another playoff loss?
I think everybody has to be better, first of all, but I think you have to look inward before you can look anywhere else.
It's Matt Schneidman. Listen to my exclusive conversation with head coach Matt LaFleur on this month's Matt LaFleur podcast.
This is what you live for. This is what you work for. Naturally, when you invest a lot in something and it doesn't end the way you'd like it to, there's going to be a ton of disappointment.
Download the Matt LaFleur podcast now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Live from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Rima Remodel, this is No BS with Billy and Saria.
I've waited for this. I'm so excited.
On The Game.
Soulja Boy, tell. Hey, I got this new dance for y'all called the Soulja Boy. You just gotta punch, then crank back 3 times from left to right.
All right, it is no BS on the game. Armin, you going to be hitting the Soulja Boy tonight at the Admirals game?
Maybe. They played it last time I was there, and the place went nuts.
There we go. And you
went nuts.
You did the Soulja Boy like from the waist up.
I tried. Yeah, waist up. Yeah,
waist up. Soulja Boy was the move.
Well, wait a minute. That little spot there by the ice gets a little slippery, so I didn't want to fall over.
I'm not judging.
That's the why.
I'm not judging. It's not because you don't know necessarily the kick, the foot.
I honestly forgot the whole Soulja Boy dance. I sort of knew it. It wasn't like. Well, I knew Cupid Shuffle, I knew Casper Slide, I knew Wobble Baby, I knew the
the Cha-Cha Slide,
whipping the Nene,
the Macarena,
Cha-Cha Macarena. I honestly didn't know this one as well. Like it was like a whole thing with the foot and everything. I didn't know what I was doing.
Best thing is Armin starts hitting.
I tried to hit
somewhat of a Soulja Boy, and it was Girl Scout night. So there's a couple of Girl Scouts that are right
Show
there.
me what was up, yeah.
And they start clowning them. Oh!
Yeah. By the way, they did. They clowned me.
Oh! I'm like, damn, I'm so glad I didn't try.
Getting made fun of by Girl Scouts. That's a rough day.
Like 6 or 7 year olds too.
Oh,
and then Dave, they hit just perfectly executed Soulja Boys. And Armin's like, all right, sweet.
Boys. Yeah.
All right, sweet. Sorry, I guess
that's how you know you're getting old, Armin.
Yeah. It's good to know the kids still know the Soulja Boy though. From that age,
that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Yes, you do. We do like to know that still is still known.
Logan, by the way, our buddy Logan, we were really sad didn't make it to the finals of Who Do You Love. Well, I see you boys at the Admirals game. You'll see me.
You'll see Armin tonight. Come on now.
Run a little solo host, so I'll be busy tonight, but I'll be there. Be excited to be there tonight.
You and the Wisconsin Badger Band going to be there tonight.
Badger
always
Band.
An exciting time. Always a good night.
Vibes are always high for the Badger Band to be there, so it should be a fun night there. Yeah.
So before we talk to Aaron Nagler in a couple of minutes from right now, he's going to jump on the YouTube stream and chop it up with us. Armin, we got to mention this Liam Cohen situation down in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Now, he did, as we've talked about a little bit, hire Anthony Campanelli as the defensive coordinator down there. Got one of his first hires, taking a young man from the Green Bay Packers. Now, Liam Cohen is also trying to fill out his offensive staff, and understandably so, is trying to go back to some of his roots, trying to go down to Tampa and grab a couple of cats that he had coached with for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You may have burned all the bridges down.
I think so.
Tampa, Florida.
I think so.
As your boy Ari Mirov at the My Sports Update just puts all together in here. Buck's still furious at former OC, the new Jacksonville Jaguars coach Liam Cohen, because they denied both of Cohen's requests to interview offensive line coach Kevin Carberry, as well as assistant offensive line coach Brian Pasili. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Him and Brian had a long history together, working back together at Kentucky, knowing each other for almost 20 years. But now, how his tenure ended in Tampa, Bucs are refusing to let him take any of his assistants for similar roles down in Tampa. Now, he would have to try to upgrade their positions. However, the only promotions to offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, or special teams coordinator are the ones that can be blocked now, since these assistants would be leaving for full coaching titles. You would have to make them like run game coordinator, I believe, or pass game coordinator, I would believe. That's tough. However, I'd be doing the same damn thing if I was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Duval.
You could stay up in Duval by yourself.
Did you see you got a little bit of a web redemption opportunity?
Did he really?
He was dapping up the boys pretty strongly. Also,
yeah,
Dave.
He got a second chance.
Duval.
Much
better.
Much better. Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Still kind of corny.
Much less white.
But listen, it's better. It's still corny. And, fair enough. A little bit. I don't think the Buccaneers are interested in making anything easy for him. Now, I wonder how those individual assistants feel about it.
Easy. That's a good point. I mean, like his boy Brian,
they might want to coach with him and say this stinks, and now they're holding me hostage here in Tampa. I mean, like they might not like that.
Well,
just because their ego's been hurt.
You can go anywhere. You just cannot go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But like if you want to go to Green Bay or you want to go to Seattle or whatever, fine.
Well,
interview
sure.
there. Do not go to Jacksonville.
It's based on ego and pride, right? For Tampa Bay. And
absolutely.
So that's what it is.
And as well, and like, I mean, I mentioned this with the Campanelli thing, and I do think it's a deal. It's a little late in the cycle, right? Like some of these teams are like, well, damn, cool. Thanks, man. We're getting poached. And now you're going to go and leave a couple of weeks after, or a week after it felt like. Now you're going to start plucking more of these guys. Again, no one's crying for the NFL team.
No, not at all.
However, I think that has something to do with it. If this would have been a week ago and he would have left right away,
yeah, no doubt about it.
They probably let him take one or maybe two. Other than that,
the amount of people that had their feelings hurt over Liam Cohen, God bless this guy. If he turns
that
out
is true. A lot of broken hearts by Liam Cohen.
If he turns out to be a great coach, God bless. I have a feeling in 15 years we're going to laugh about all the people that were upset about Liam Cohen and not being able to coach for him and coach with him, and he's not our coach anymore. I don't know. I never thought of Liam. Yeah,
maybe like Tayo Cruz over here, just breaking hearts all over the place.
Maybe he'll become a great coach. Maybe he won't be. I think
listen, he's got Sean McVay time. He's got time spent with Sean McVay. So people are saying he just might.
There you
just
go.
might do it.
He's in the orbit. Yeah.
We got a chance for you to win $1,000 to put a grand in your hand. Nationwide keyword for this hour's grand in your hand contest is credit. You have until 55 past the hour to go to 973thegame.com, 1070thegame.com. Enter the word credit. That's credit to 973thegame.com or 1070thegame.com to enter the contest for this hour. We wrap up hour number 2 on the other side with our friend Aaron Nagler, Cheesehead TV. Also, Carry the G Radio and Carry the G Radio, the podcast that him and I do together. That posted earlier on this week for the first of the offseason editions. Aaron Nagler going to be down in New Orleans with us the 11 o'clock hour, we believe, all next week. So he's going to be live with us at Radio Row next week. He's going to be live with us next on YouTube, X, and No BS statewide on the game.
No, you can't do it like me, though. So don't do it like me, folk. I seen you try to do it like me. Man, that damn was ugly. Soulja Boy up in it.
Hey, Wisconsin. It's your Green Bay football buddy, John Kuhn here, reminding you to buckle up for safety whenever you get in your vehicle. Whether you're driving to work, school, shopping, or to catch the big game, remember, click it or ticket. Buckling up saves lives. Every trip, every time. Don't risk it, guys. It's not worth the ticket or the danger. Click it or ticket. 0 in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Brought to you by Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt for Tap In Golf Bar with 2 locations in Waukesha and in Sussex. As winter roars on, it's time to take your game indoors, and Tap In Golf Bar is the best place to be able to tap in with your swing all year long. It's the best indoor golf experience in the state. A sports bar to watch all the games, and my favorite part, it's a full-service sports bar, so the bev cart is never too far from the tee box. Full swing technology with courses from around the world. The best simulators to play on are at Tap In Golf Bar. Reserve your spot today and tap in with your swing this year at Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha and in Sussex, and online at tapingolfbar.com.
KB, I think our smart, good-looking listeners know that we enjoy our bourbon.
If they don't, I can't help them.
Our friends at Central Standard made some of the finest spirits I've ever tasted, like their Red Cabin Bourbon, aged perfectly and finished in California Cabernet wine casks with notes of oak and caramel.
I'm all about the smoothness, and I love the amber finish that follows every sip.
Red Cabin is a 2-time gold medal winner from the Los Angeles International Spirits Competition.
Perfect for nights by the fire pit, next to your fireplace, and all your holiday gatherings.
Central Standard's Red Cabin Bourbon, you will not be disappointed.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, and if you've tried to lose weight in the past and it just hasn't worked, New Year's resolutions might not be your thing, but I got one with some help. It's the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've been able to change the lives of thousands of people with their incredible metabolic reset program. If you've tried losing weight before, you haven't had the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day without exercising, without prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There is no better way to lose weight than with Milwaukee Weight Loss, and there is no better time than right now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. The caring team at Milwaukee Weight Loss is trying to help you thrive in 2025. So let them. Call for your free weight loss consultation today at 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for a free weight loss consultation. It's 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the game and that Billy Schmidt sent you.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A dense fog advisory is in effect until 9 a.m. Drive with care today. A mild morning should warm back up to near 40, 42 degrees for this afternoon. Breezy northeast wind develops. It gets gusty through the afternoon. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy and 24, 36 tomorrow. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Let Express Employment Professionals help you hire for contract or full-time jobs. Forget about recruiting, sifting through resumes, and interviews with unqualified applicants. Go to ExpressPros.com to find the location near you. That's ExpressPros.com.
Coming up Friday on the Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 on the game. Less than a week away from the NBA trade deadline and just a couple of weeks away from spring training. So we'll give you an update on both fronts. Plus, Matt LePay will join us in advance of their game at Northwestern. The Mike Keller Show, Friday, noon to 3 on the game.
This is how we do it.
No BS on the game is heading down to New Orleans. Not for Mardi Gras, for Super Bowl 59 Media Week, as we will be live at Radio Row all week next week, and we'll be dipping our toes into Super Bowl opening night on Monday, onto Bourbon Street for a couple of different trips throughout the week. I can only assume the casino down there will most likely get frequented a couple of different times. A lot of beignets probably going to be consumed. And you know what else would probably help down there in New Orleans? Being able to have Happy Place Hemp come with us. Happy Place Hemp is the best way to relax and enjoy the big game week in the right kind of headspace. HappyPlaceHemp.com can get you everything you need for 25% off your entire order every time when you use promo code Billy. That is promo code Billy at Happy Place Hemp, whether it's their CBN, CBD gummies, Sleepy Time gummies, their Delta 8 gummies are fantastic. Also, their Drift Seltzer. Woo, doggies. Now lets you drift into happiness with a THC CBD infused citrus seltzer called Drift. And if you got that final day of dry January, maybe test out a gummy here last night of dry January that you're finishing out. HappyPlaceHemp.com can get you all of that in about, say, 25% off, which is a good deal. That's the kind of deal that you need to be getting at Happy Place Hemp and HappyPlaceHemp.com.
All right, Billy, I like it. There we go. We're about to talk to Aaron. I got a little question for you, Billy. I was just thinking about something during the break. How do you feel about, let's say you're a big fan in high school of a school, a college, all right? Big fan of the college. You apply there, you don't get in. Do you still become a fan of that school? It's just something I thought about over the break. Do you be true to your school or not? I mean, let's say you're going to go to a different college now, but I was a fan here first. Yeah, I know I wouldn't. I'm going to be a fan of the school I'm going to. I be true to your school, man. School spirit. Let your colors fly, the Beach Boys used to say. I think that's a really interesting thing. Assuming they're all Division I high major schools.
That's
right?
tough. Okay.
Like I'm not saying like you grew up and you're a big Badger fan and you go to Bull Lake College or something like that. I'm not saying that, right? Let's say you're a big fan. Let's say I was a big fan of Marquette growing up, but I didn't get into Marquette. Okay. Let's say I went to, I don't know, what's it inferior? Providence. Let's say I went to Providence instead.
Let's say you went to DePaul.
Let's say, DePaul. Sure. Do you change your fandom on that? It's just something I was thinking about during the break. I don't know. It just crossed my head.
I feel like somewhat you would almost have to. Like, I think inherently you would, just naturally. I don't think that maybe you like completely, unless you feel some sort of way about it, right? Unless you feel like, maybe you didn't get into that place and you're just sitting there like, I'm not good enough for them.
See, I have a lot of. I'm all about
My
like
money was always good for
Well,
17 years for him, but now, now I'm not good enough to be able to go and represent. Yeah, I think you would feel some sort of way. I would assume on that,
right? Because I think about being a sports fan and different types of fans. Some people can generate a love and a passion for a team they have no civic connection to. They didn't grow up there. They didn't have contact. See this a lot with people that are really into English Premier League, right? Some people really they lock onto one team, they love it, even though they didn't grow up in Liverpool. They didn't have no connection to it, but for some reason, I never was that way. I couldn't do it. I got to be cheering for the home team.
Yeah,
I had the passion for my home team, my community, and the school I went to. Right, a lot of people were always surprised. You were surprised when I said like, "Hey, I was Michael Finley when I was 10 years old for Halloween." Like, but it was like
stunned by that.
It's one thing, like
stunned by that.
When I went to a school, like that's where my loyalty,
where you then
that's my passion
became a fan of. Yeah,
my loyalty, my passion. So it's just something interesting I was thinking about during the break. I
love that. I love that conversation. Some of it, I mean, like when I was at Carroll, now as I'm rocking the brand new Carroll Pioneer.
Absolutely,
right? That new logo is real sweet. That new Pio Pete logo is real sweet.
I heard they rebranded that a little bit. Yeah.
Back in the day when your boy first started at the Harvard of Waukesha County, that C looked very reminiscent of the Chicago Bears. Now
I remember that.
Now I know what I was wearing that for. However, when you walk down the street, people are like, huh, rocking a Bears sweatshirt.
You think that's why
Can you not look that this is different? First off, they borrowed it and used it from Carroll. We had it first. All right. They went and utilized it. That's all well and good in the neighborhood. They can go and change it up a little bit. This is a Carroll C. But I did struggle with being able to wear it for the first couple of months.
Well, that is tough because that's a logo of like one
because
of
I couldn't disassociate that with it, especially if you went inside the conference. Then I think it would be more difficult to be able to line up in that way. Aaron Nagler is going to join us. Call it about 11:20 from right now. He's going to join us in about a half hour as working through some stuff. And again, everybody descending upon New Orleans adds a lot of different logistical things
Layers
that happen here late into the day and late going in. I got to ask you before we take the time out.
Let's do it.
Before we get to the top of the hour. You teased it and you joked about it a little bit earlier today on 5 Wide.
Okay. Okay. What is this? What are we talking?
Are you actually going to do what I think you're going to do this week and watch a little bit of the Royal Rumble?
Oh, that. Okay.
Or are you just teasing me?
I didn't know what part of 5 Wide you were talking about. I'm thinking about it, Billy. Why not? Because so
come on over to Billy's room.
A lot of people now. When does it start exactly? It's usually late.
Starts at 5.
Oh, really? But it's
a little earlier start.
Isn't it like a long type of deal?
It's a long show. All
right,
about 3.5, 4 hours.
4 hours.
Multiple different matches. You can jump in whenever you want.
The Saturday or
on Peacock Saturday night.
Saturday night, right?
It should. Now the main event will not be done by the time Marquette tips off.
So that's
and once 7 o'clock goes, I know that you're done.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. But
if we can get you watching at least the Rumble match
right
before flipping over to Marquette UConn, you're gonna enjoy yourself.
So I've been thinking about this. Like I have the channel now, so I don't have to worry about like is it worth my money if I don't care. So I have the channel. Gonna be getting stuff done at home, packing all that stuff.
You're gonna be at home. You're gonna have the TV on.
I'm not watching during the Marquette game, obviously, but
not at all. And you're not wheeling in another TV. I understand that.
No, but I think if it starts at 5, I think I can definitely dip into some of it.
You can see a little bit.
The energy, the intensity, all the craziness.
Production. Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be going nuts.
I do like stuff like that. I do like the pageantry of it. And I know that's the big thing with wrestling. I do like that. I mean, there were times when I was never a big wrestling fan, but I would dip in for WrestleMania or something at my buddy's house.
Closest thing to it. Starts the road to WrestleMania.
Right. And it was fun. I mean, I did go to an event once at the Bradley Center. An event. It was Fastlane with
your boy Mitch.
Yeah, but who was the big wrestler that night? The bald guy.
Goldberg.
Goldberg, right.
Yes, Goldberg.
That was exciting when he took the stage, when he took the ring.
Yeah.
It was fun to be there. It's fun to be amongst the energy.
In the house, it's an electric factory.
But the biggest
TV's different.
Biggest issue for me is the same one would be if I'm jumping into a soap opera in the middle of the show. I don't know the storylines.
They'll keep you posted. They'll get you up to speed with the videos.
But if it's not for that, Billy, I don't mind dipping in a little bit. I think I definitely will check it out a little bit.
Now, I don't know. This isn't like full you're dating a new girl and you want to see like if she will actually like for Dave Gasper, if an eligible young lady across the Milwaukee Waukesha area I don't know, maybe into Racine County. I don't know how far you're willing to drive.
He's willing to drive. No offense.
I'm willing to drive.
I mean, let's be honest. This is like the 6th
Washington County, Dane County. I mean, apparently we can move around a little bit.
Sometimes, hey,
I'm going to try not to go back to Dane County.
That's true. You were just in Madison.
But sometimes you have to take sacrifices to achieve the goals you want. So I think
Brown County could be
the 6 county area at least he's in, right?
He is like the Milwaukee Brewers, the 5-county discount.
If you're in the tax district, if you pay taxes,
the discount.
If you get the 5-county discount, you can get the date with Dave Gasper. You're probably gonna need to like baseball, right? Like you're gonna at least need to be.
At least tolerate.
You're gonna
tolerate it. Is a great way of putting it.
You're gonna be able to have to not hate baseball. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Dave's not taking that.
Otherwise, she's not going to have fun.
And she's not going to have fun. But if you're doing that, you're not taking her to, all due respect to the second game of the Brewers season, the sleepiest night of the year, right?
Is that not a good date? Is that not a good date night? You're saying
you're probably going to try to ramp it up, right? Maybe bobblehead game. Right,
yeah,
maybe a Saturday night sellout against the Cardinals. Right, you want the atmosphere up. You want to pick one of those big time days. Sure. Maybe opening day would be that time to go and party it up.
This is dinner at Texas Roadhouse. You want to make it fancy.
The Royal Rumble is the day to try to indoctrinate you a little bit into wrestling.
It's not the Super Bowl.
Not the Super Bowl, but it might be the most fun and digestible one.
Listen,
the Royal Rumble drinking game. Now, then you might not make it all the way through till.
I don't want to do that. We have to get up early the next day. I don't want to do that. I don't
want to wake up fly with a little bit of a hangover.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. No, I don't.
Well, you got to get your airport beer at 6 a.m. when you get
that. No doubt, you
got to go to
you absolutely have to
go to the Chili's to go. That's at the terminal.
Bloody Mary, no doubt.
You guys know I love the airport here in Milwaukee. I love General Mitchell. I'm more likely to be hanging out at the Mitchell Gallery of Flight or the bookstore or Hudson News, maybe to get my my anti-nausea pills. I'll be at Hudson
PGA
News.
Golf Store.
Oh yeah, the PGA Golf Store. They used to be at Brooks Brothers.
No chance he's going to be in there. That's not past security, Dave.
That's where Zabe and Heller are going to be hanging out.
Yeah, he's going to get through security instantly. As soon as possible, he's going to get through that gate and have that deep sigh of relief of, all right, I can get on the plane.
Listen, I can't be the only one that you want to get through security. You go to check to make sure your gate exists. You make sure it exists. It's the first thing you do is you walk to the gate to make sure it exists. Then you go off and do what you need to do in terms of your, entertainment.
Are you coming to grips with when your whole group is getting to the airport? I know earlier in the week you were a little nervous. We got a 6:45 flight.
I'm coming to grips with it. We're doing an Uber from the station here, Tim.
And I believe that's leaving at 5.
Boss man organizer. I guess it's okay. I guess we'll make it.
You were sweating it a little bit earlier this week.
Oh, if it's a long line, Billy, you never know what happens at these events. Like what if there's a long security line?
You and Hunter in that Uber both have the worry gene and have the equipment. Ooh, that's going to be a good sweater for you guys.
You know what?
That's going to be a good sweater for you guys.
That's why your boy has TSA pre-check. It's okay.
We drive a little faster. Oh, there we go.
Let's go. Okay.
Laura didn't make me, but she strongly encouraged me to get it.
My wife's been trying to get me to get TSA pre-check for.
She always says because she has it before. She always says, I'm not going in the regular line with you. I'm going through TSA.
Oh, I get ditched every time. Every time.
Yeah.
So why will you not just fill out the paperwork? Because that would.
It was actually easy to do. I should tell you that it was pretty easy.
Well, that would take me away from being in the lab on the parlay of the day. That would take me away from the important stuff.
Absolutely, you need those extra minutes, man.
You need those extra minutes, and you have had every single minute to be able to hold off if we were picking the game this week. Next week, we are almost one full week away from our Who Do You Love picks having to be in for the finals. We'll talk about a couple of leans. Still, I got one prop that I've now already locked in on and might invest before the line completely flips. Aaron Nagler is going to come up in the third hour of the show as well. It's going to be a fantastic conversation that we're going to have with Nags popping up in about 25 minutes. He's going to pop into the third hour of this show. A lot next week, live from Radio Row, and hour 3 of No BS is right around the corner. Your chance to win $1,000. Last one on the way after Doug's update here on the game.
Like shooting stars, I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now.
Yeah, I could use a dream or a genie or a
Message marked urgent.
We're here for you now on the NicoleLaw.com talk and text line at 1-877-794-1973.
Drew and KB here with our buddies Rob and Chris from HappyPlaceHemp.com. Let's talk a little bit, and this comes up a lot with Delta 9 THC products. Wisconsin isn't a legal state at this point, but your products are indeed legal. Where is that line?
So Wisconsin falls under the federal law, which is 0.3% Delta 9 THC per product. So all of our products are derived from hemp and have a concentration of 0.3% on a dry weight basis, so it's legal. So a gummy, which is heavier, I can put a lot more in there, and you can still get the same effects. And especially with my new seltzer, I can put a lot more in there, and you can feel the effects, and it stays way below the legal threshold.
Let's talk about the new store hours. You guys realized that your customers were having a hard time getting to you before 5 o'clock, so you're helping them out.
Yeah, that's been the case for coming up on 5 years now. We're open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 7, and Saturday, 10 to 2.
Thanks, guys. Remember, quick and easy ordering at happyplacehemp.com. Promo code Drew and KB for 25% off your order every time.
The Milwaukee Admirals host Manitoba tonight at 7, and the UW Badger Band, along with Bucky Badger, makes its annual appearance, thanks to Lido Advisors, bringing an incredible atmosphere during the game and a memorable fourth-period post-game performance to the ice. The Ads host division-leading Grand Rapids Friday, February 7th at 7, and Saturday the 8th at 6. On Friday the 7th, 5,000 fans score drawstring bags, courtesy of We Energies. Plus, join us for Women in Sports Night. Special ticket packages are available that include a pregame networking event, a game ticket, and a t-shirt. Visit MilwaukeeAdmirals.com to check out special ticket packaging and the impressive list of women and sports guests. On Saturday, February 8th, 3,000 fans get a screaming Sicilian Admirals oven mitt. And Lee Jeans, Coors Light, and Toyota present 38 Special in a post-game concert. That's Admirals Hockey, tonight at 7, Friday, February 7th at 7, and Saturday, February 8th at 6. Admirals Hockey is presented by Landmark Credit Union. For ticket info, including special ticket packages, upcoming promotions, or stylish Ads merchandise, visit MilwaukeeAdmirals.com or download the Admirals app. And remember, don't just buy tickets, invest in memories.
Infinity's app shows precise costs of your new roof, providing peace of mind.
Infinity costs less, and the price we quote is surprise-free.
Because we pay less, you pay less. Warranted, guaranteed quality.
Installing peace of mind. InfinityRoofing.com.
Transition matured savings bonds, certificates of deposit, and whole life insurance into assets protected from creditors, even Medicaid drawdown. With Refi Trust, 0 fees, 0 taxes. Refi Trust takes just minutes. We do all the work. Refi Trust, your assets, your choice. RefiTrust.com.
Hello, this is John Kuhn for Hildebrand Law Firm. When I played, it was all about trust. Trust my teammates, trust myself, trust the process. And now, trust for my family's well-being is with Hildebrand Law Firm. Your family's financial security is vital. Hildebrand Law believes estate planning is for everyone. So don't put it off. I didn't. Kirsten Hildebrand and her expert team will show you how to protect your assets for you and your family. Visit Hildebrand Law today, your local estate planner. Your family deserves it. To learn more, visit them at hildebrandlawfirm.net. That's hildebrandlawfirm.net. You can trust Hildebrand Law. I do.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Stop. 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 Okay, that's enough of that. Kick out mucus and quiet the cough with Mucinex DM 12 Hour. Each bi-layer tablet suppresses your cough and treats the cause of your chest congestion by kicking out the excess mucus living rent-free inside you. And the best part? It lasts 3 times longer than 4-hour medicines, so you can get back to the things you love for longer. Buy now at your local retailer. Use as directed.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of these favorite items for just $7. Choose from their spicy or classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. 2 fave items for $7. Gotta be Wendy's. Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Terms apply.
Grab the contest rules for 97.3 The Game at thegamemke.com.
Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
We're ready to roll, baby.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game. There is no BS with Screamin' Sicilian Premium Craft Frozen Pizza. Find it in your local grocer's freezer and taste what all the screaming is about.
He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, we start with Packers news. The coaching staff continues to get a bit of a makeover. The Jacksonville Jaguars have taken Packers linebackers coach Anthony Campanelli to be their new defensive coordinator. Good for Coach Camp. I think many of the players thrived under his tutelage in the 1 year that he was here under Jeff Hafley. So Liam Cohen now has to find an offensive coordinator, but he's got his defensive coordinator. Men's basketball.
Getting it from Tampa.
He'll find one somewhere. Like somebody will want the job. Like I don't know how far he's got to find to dig up.
You really don't like Liam Cohen.
No, I just don't believe in him in this situation.
Oh,
yeah, come on, give us our Taj.0 Web redemption. Web redemption. Yeah,
is that the redemption? Or the
that's not the redemption.
Duval.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to sound.
That's so much better.
But he
so
kinda,
much better.
I just don't feel like anybody's taking it seriously. Like I feel like that Jacksonville coaching situation and the staff and everything, I feel like that's like they're shooting a sitcom or something like that. I don't feel it's real for some reason. I don't know. He's going to prove me wrong. They're going to roll up and win 14 games. They're going to be the most disciplined, well-coached team in football. I know it's going to happen. Trevor Lawrence.
Well, you got the
Trevor Lawrence going to be comeback player of the year.
Liam Cohen looks like one of the guys from Please Don't Destroy on Saturday Night Live, and
sure.
And then you've got, the Anthony Soprano wannabe.
Someone told me it's just like
I'm kidding. I like Coach Campanelli. I think he's a really good coach.
Yeah,
that's what he looks like, though.
What's the show with gosh, I'm blanking.
That one, yeah,
that one. Love that show.
Yeah,
awesome show.
Should have been prepared for that.
College basketball, Wisconsin is at Northwestern tomorrow afternoon. We'll have it for you here on 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee, 1310 WIBA in Madison, and on the Badgers Sports Network. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock. Pre-game coverage with Matt LePay and Brian Butch starts at noon. Marquette, the Flying Armansarians, they play tomorrow night on National Marquette Day against the two-time defending champion UConn Huskies. Gus Johnson, Jim Jackson, Christina Pink on the call for Fox.
Oh, Gus. It's going to be a good one, yeah.
So the Wisconsin women's basketball team, we've talked more about the Wisconsin women's basketball team this week than probably we ever have before.
Yeah,
way more than they would like us to.
Yeah, because it's for all the wrong reasons.
Because it's for all the wrong reasons.
And we got another one. We got another one. All right, so the team has had a rough January. It's still how is it still January, by the way?
We need to get out of it.
Have to get out of this. At one point, they lost 8 straight Big Ten games before Wednesday's win over Michigan. All right, so now sophomore Tessa Grady has announced that she's taking a leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. Now, this is the same week that her former teammate Tessa Towers. Now, there's 2 Tessas, so don't get them confused.
Got it. Okay,
I'm confused. There's 2 Tessas.
Don't be a Tessa.
I was confused right out of the gates. Okay.
So
2
Tessa,
Tessas. Okay.
Tessa Towers.
Yep.
She was not a member of the team this year, but she has been the last couple of years. She's the one who levied all the allegations. On TikTok. Now, Tessa Grady yesterday announced that she is taking an indefinite leave of absence for personal reasons. Now, of course, the allegations are that head coach Marissa Mosley and her staff mistreated Tessa Towers during her 2 seasons there. That's what she has alleged. Now, when the Towers allegations came out, you have to do a little sleuthing on this one. Grady, now I'm not on TikTok, but I did a little TikTok sleuthing.
Sure.
Got
it. On it.
Because that's what journalists do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Tessa Grady was one of the players who voiced strong support for Tessa Towers. I have to edit this a little bit.
Okay.
So this is what Tessa Grady, who just left the team,
put on her TikTok.
Put on Tessa Towers' TikTok in support of her allegations. Quote, "Now this sounds familiar. Glad we got out of that S." I can't. It starts with an S.
So we got out of it.
Yeah.
But she wasn't out of it.
I'm just reading what she said.
Right. That's kind of interesting.
Now this sounds familiar. Glad we got out of that poo hole.
Yep.
Jeez, man.
And so several other Wisconsin players similarly voiced support for Towers on her TikTok post.
I wonder
but
if she
Tessa Grady was one of the strongest.
Did she already decide to leave the program then at that point when she said we?
May have, but didn't announce it. And Marissa Mosley was asked specifically about Tessa Grady after she made that statement that she made after their win against Michigan on Wednesday. And, it was a pretty direct question that I believe it was Jim Polzin who asked. And Marissa Mosley just said, yeah, she just wasn't available for tonight's game. And then they hustled her out of the room.
There will be lawyers, as Andrew Brandt would say.
There will be lawyers.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. Yeah.
It's just interesting. I mean, if she anyone can leave the program anytime they want, I guess. Not the first time it's happened. But what the situation is going to be and if she'll try and transfer and all these things.
Well, and where there's smoke, there's fire. There's something here.
Yeah, there's
By
something
the way,
there.
there's a third Tess on that roster. I'm looking up the roster.
Louise.
Tess Myers is the guard. Is that right? 5'3", 5'9", number 3.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's just.
I don't know.
I like that you asked Dave for that confirmation.
Dave knows.
I thought Dave's an expert on this matter.
I mean, not the women's team.
I know,
much,
but you.
Do we really believe that?
You've covered, produced some games. I was just saying.
That's it. Really is. It's a sad state of affairs because there's clearly something there. I keep saying it because now we are getting into the discovery phase. We will start getting into the discovery phase. We're going to learn quite a bit here.
We're going to learn quite a bit.
We're going to learn quite a bit here, and it's going to be quicker because of social media and the ability to get information and videos out there or certain things. I think way quicker.
And let's be honest, there's also no pressure to keep her because their record sucks.
Yeah, 100%.
It just does. A couple of quick hitters. The Admirals host Manitoba tonight. That'll be on Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee. Badgers men's hockey. They play at number 4 Minnesota tonight and tomorrow. So we'll have that for you on 97.3 The Game tonight with Brian Posick on the play-by-play.
Come on.
And the top-ranked Badgers women's team, number 1 in the country. They're at Minnesota Duluth. 6 o'clock face-off tonight. 3 o'clock face-off tomorrow. You can listen to that if you're in Madison on 1070 The Game or on the iHeartRadio.
Sounds like a lot of dubs to me. Sounds like a lot of W's across the board to me.
A lot of goals. Sounds like. A lot of goals.
A lot of wins.
Also, nice of the Badgers hockey teams to be playing out of the area so that the Badgers band can come and hang out with Armin tonight at the Admirals game.
Badgers band will be at the Admirals game.
You wear a Bucky shirt?
No, I got my Admirals gear. What do you want me to, I don't have that much Bucky gear, to be honest, but I have my Admirals shirt.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That doesn't
say that. Do you have any?
I do have some. I do have some
Badgers wear. Okay.
Yeah,
he's got a bow that's supposed to be for Lena that I don't think he's let grace her.
Thank you. That was a gift from Brian Butch. Thank you very much. I said, who sent these?
Who sent these?
It's like a Marquette Purdue household. I thought that Wisconsin would be like the axis of evil for those guys.
It was funny.
It was the Sarian family.
She hasn't worn those bows yet, but
for good reason. In your house, is it a big night here tonight? Purdue, Indiana, I believe. Also,
yeah, that's the rivalry game. That's the rivalry game for Purdue fans and Indiana fans as well. That's the in-state rivalry there. It's a big deal. So I have a cousin that went to Indiana, and then Laura met her and was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
Now we got issues.
She goes to Indiana. Oh, and then Indiana. Oh no, boil her down. Instead of boil her up.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go. Let's get a little rivalry rolling.
Now I have a question though. If you grow up as a fan of Indiana and you don't get accepted and you go to Purdue, are you cheering for? Probably not, right? Like you're a big USC fan from youth. Doug.
Yes, from when I was a wee lad.
Did you apply? Did it upset you if you didn't get in or did get in?
So I did apply. I did not get in. And if I did get in, as my father told me repeatedly, we can't afford that.
So so it didn't affect your USC.
No.
I brought it up last segment.
I knew I wasn't going to get in. And even if I did get in, it was a pipe dream.
So you didn't take it personally and like.
No, I just wanted and for I think it was $20 to apply at the time. It was like obviously 100 years ago. All I wanted was the letterhead. All I wanted was the rejection letter on official USC letterhead.
Right, exactly. Because I can't imagine, and we were talking about it, if Bill Schmidt grew up in Ripon. And he's like, I grew up in Ripon. I like Ripon College. But obviously played at Carroll. You ain't messing with them when you play with them against them in Carroll, right, Billy? Like your loyalties change.
First loss at Carroll was actually to Ripon. Thanks for bringing it up.
I didn't mean that.
So, but
21-0 lost 22-21.
Sounds like your fault, not mine.
But Oshkosh has gotten really good in the years since since I've been there. So they've been really good in basketball. They've been really good at football. And whenever Oshkosh plays for a national championship, it's my team's going for a national championship, which means that my team and my school is better than yours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how you have to look at it.
That's how you have to look at it.
Dave goes,
except when UW Lacrosse comes in and gets the win instead.
Like Dave went to lacrosse,
which is unfortunate.
That was
was
tough.
It though?
That was tough.
Oh boy, I can feel the tension.
Not everybody can go to the Harvard of the Midwest.
I'm with Oshkosh on this one.
Oh yeah, well not everyone
nestled
not everyone
beautifully
else's
in Winnebago County
can make adult videos.
Yes,
and bring
that's
adult
true.
stars
That's true.
to campus.
More WIAC
Chancellor's
trash
a porn
talk.
star. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Come on, more WIAC beef. I like this. All right, who's next?
Luddy needs to get in here. We're getting the WIAC beef in here.
Where'd Luddy go? I didn't know.
Coached at Whitewater.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Whitewater. That's right. Because I know the Northern Arizona connection for. Luddy.
Yeah. Coached at Whitewater. All in on the WIAC.
It's got to be somebody on the phone that can call him from UW Stout or something like that.
I don't know that they want to talk because Pios beat Stout this year.
Hey. All right, there you go.
And that's the D3 hour.
Let's go. That's damn right it is. Damn right it is. Dougie, appreciate it.
Hey,
and
boys,
we will talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
We're proud of our WIAC schools here in this
Yeah.
state. We absolutely are. So there you go. I like this.
And our CCIW schools.
Yeah,
Not forget that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not leaving you out.
I'm on.
I'm not leaving you
Collegiate
guys out.
Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin is where the real champions are made. Just ask North Central, champions of Division III college football this year. So
yeah, indeed.
Throw that in there. All right. That you cannot invest upon. That we cannot play at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. They got some big plays and some big plans coming up for the big game that we got to talk about. But first, we got to talk about a big dub from the night before.
Time now for Billy's Parlay of the Day, brought to you by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest.
Now, we don't like to rest on our laurels. We don't like to celebrate too much on victories, but when it comes in large part to a 38-point victory by the LA Lakers over the 6-win Washington Wizards.
Oof. That was like a 30-point lead at halftime.
At halftime, they put up 70+ in the first half.
Washington, I'm sorry. They're all in on the Cooper Flag sweepstakes at this point.
You have to be. I think at this point you have to be. You know what other team is going to start trying to get into that sweepstakes?
The Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
The Jazz. Yeah, this isn't your father's Jazz team.
My goodness, the Delta Center was take flight for Anthony Edwards last night as the T-Wolves roll through Utah and dismantle the Jazz. 138, 113, 36 from Ant. 6 of 9 from downtown. League Pass was a fantastic watch last night.
Yeah.
For the parlay of the day. And also on TNT earlier on, Cavs just took care of easy business against the Atlanta Hawks.
Billy,
they didn't have half the guys out there. It was almost like stealing money.
You didn't have one sweat in any of these games. They were all blowouts from the start. I mean,
nothing game close.
Maybe the Wolves were up like 5 or 6 at half.
Yep.
Then they rolled up with a 44-point third. You didn't have any that even came close. There wasn't even a sweat. And like I said yesterday when we were talking about that, I said, everyone take care of business.
Just do your job.
And boy, did they. Everybody took care of business. And, Billy, you got to be feeling good. Now, that's another parlay hit in the midst of, what, 3 days?
That's 2 this week.
2 this week.
Yep. That's a Monday and Thursday parlay hit.
I know that feeling. Now you're feeling unstoppable. I'm
feeling pretty good. Yeah. Feeling pretty good in the neighborhood. Now, as people like to talk about their units in this kind of thing.
It's a unit discussion.
We're still down a couple of units. Right? If you played every single day, you're still down, I think, like 2.5 units. Last night, almost got 6 of them bad boys back.
Yeah, but
we got 6 of them back the other day.
This is about trends, though, Billy. This is about trends.
And the trends are in our favor as we go to the NBA and we go to Bucks and Spurs tonight.
All right. Now, you went to the last one. Bucks
down in San Antonio. I did.
In Milwaukee because you wanted to see.
Wanted to watch Wemby, and Wemby got clapped in that game.
Who, by the way, has his own era now. I was getting into that before the show in our show meeting.
You were really upset about that one.
And then you tell me, hey, wait a minute, maybe he deserves to have a little bit of an era. He is having a great year. Wemby is fulfilling his potential, I would say. But I do see people saying this is the Wemby era. Let's wait a little minute. His team's got to win. Now, you went to that game, Billy. Wemby's a unique talent.
Unique, yes.
Giannis put him in jail that night.
I'm going to say he got baptized by Giannis.
Okay, which is fine. That's what it is, right? What about tonight, Billy?
Which is one of the reasons why we're starting out the parlay of the day. With Giannis Antetokounmpo keeping this insane run of play going of what he has done. Just sit with me here for one quick second when we look at what Giannis has done over the last, call it 5 or 6 games or so. Because not only is he second in the league with averaging 31.7 a night, fifth in the league in rebounds over 12 a night. He's top 10 in field goal percentage at just over 60%.
It's amazing.
But my man has scored 39, 35, 36, and 34 in 4 of the last 5 games.
He's a machine. For someone that is just run and dunk guy, quote unquote, has no bag, quote unquote, has not. This guy is incredible. He dominates the league.
The only night that he didn't put up 30 plus in that run of games is the night that they woke up, and as you said, still woke up in a 5-star hotel. We did have to fly and got in like something like 90 minutes before the game. I'm going to give him a break on that one. I'm going to go over 32.5 tonight. Not 31.5 where we're sitting at minus 109, Narman. We're taking that plus 110 to juice this bad boy up a little bit.
Why not?
And we're enjoying a
good.
plus 110 tonight.
All right, at 31.5, you said?
At 32.
32.5. Oh, let's do it. He's hit it 4 out of his last 5, Billy, but it's those rebounds for me. The rebounds going crazy. 15, 12, 13, 18, 12. He's cleaning up the glass.
Do we pair plus 13.5 with a little bit more plus money?
I think we should.
The only tough thing is when you roll same game parlay and you play with the same player, it does somewhat deduct a little bit of what the odds end up
because of the derivative bet aspect of it. Is that what they call that? The derivative bet?
I like that word.
But my question is, should you just take a special then? I'm not trying to get you to change everything you prepared for here.
Actually, I like where your head's at.
Should you just take a
special
then? You know what I mean? At that point,
but there's no plus money on the special, so that's the tough part.
You
don't get any plus money, and I am a little bit of a greedy cat at this.
All right, that's fine. Moment. Do what you gotta do.
We're gonna go special with Giannis. Plus 50 on the points, rebounds, assists special. We're gonna combine that.
What's the number? I'm sorry, 50
plus.
Oh, I think he's getting that.
50 plus.
I really do, Billy.
The full number for his special would sit at.
Poor Dave worked back here.
Yeah, no kidding. Dave is just absolutely stressing, and he had it all dialed up until Armin had to open his mouth and start yelling and changing it all up.
It's my fault.
50.5 is his change, but you get a little money change if you do the 50 plus because you get a push or you get a victory at 50.
At 50.
You get a victory at 50, not only a push at 50.
So are you rolling with that? I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just asking. No,
over 50.5.
Got it.
Giannis points, rebounds, assists.
Got it.
Bucks money line minus 136.
I love that.
I'm generally hoping that there's a little bit more of the points variety in some of those. However, then we're going to go to also the threes. And this cat was hitting threes all over the place when these two teams matched up when I was at the game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Skeletal remains of Chris Paul was all over the place, dropping down threes. They said, you know what, Chris Paul? Not tonight. Not even listing him.
We're not going to put you on the board tonight. We're not even giving you that offer. Not even going to give you that chance. Well, you have a couple other options. You do have Taurean Prince plus 108 for over 1.5 threes.
You know, Taurean Prince is plus 108 for over 1.5 threes. You know who's over plus 120 for over 1.5 threes?
My man, Chris Middleton.
Your boy?
Chris Middleton is good.
Could this be Chris Middleton's final game as Milwaukee Buck?
Hey.
Oh.
He had a rest day, didn't he? Is this a back-to-back or am I mistaken?
This is not a back-to-back.
So Chris Middleton, prime MJ.
Had a rest day. Had a horrible game last time out.
He's going to respond and get a lot of threes. He's going to get a lot of shots.
All right, here it is here today. You stop before we change this thing up again. All right? Dave, I'm not letting him do it to you again because Dave has been typing this thing in 6 different times through. All right. Giannis over 50.5 points, rebounds, assists. Chris Middleton over 1.5 threes.
Love it.
Bucks money line plus 500.
See, here's the thing, and I love this because I think Chris Middleton. I think you listened to Trey the other night when Trey was ripping him up.
Trey went off on Chris Middleton the other night.
Trey went off.
He did.
Trey
he went off on Chris Middleton the other night.
So I think Chris listened to him. 2 threes, he's going to get that. Come on.
2 threes from Chris, over 50.5 points, rebounds, assists from Giannis.
Show him what you're made of, Chris.
Should be the odds-on winner to win the MVP, but we're going to cash in because he's still not the odds-on winner to win the MVP. And the Bucks money line down in San Antonio tonight, plus 500 on the Billy's parlay of the day.
I do like that. If you're curious, the spread is Bucks minus 2.5.
Yep.
So...
And there it is. That's the Potawatomi Sportsbook Parlay of the Day with Billy Schmidt and Armin Sarian on No BS here on the game. Also, Potawatomi Sportsbook is going to be the place for you to be hanging out watching the big game. They got a massive, massive party going on. We were talking to Justin Arnett, the other day. He was telling us just a little bit of the plans
for awesome
Super Bowl night and what they got going on for the big game at Potawatomi. It's going to be a fantastic, fantastic day for everybody to be hanging out down at the Potawatomi Sportsbook with their elite experience starting up at 4 o'clock, $50 per person, gets you food and drink minimum cover in there. You can book your table there as well. They're going to have drink specials, $20 buckets of beer, $10 off their $100 beer tubes, or their 100-ounce beer tubes. So $10 off that 100-ounce tube of beer, which is like one of the best things to get dropped off at the table.
Oh, yeah. That lets you everyone else know that you're elite. Then everyone else starts looking at that beer tower and saying, how do I get one of those?
They're like, oh, maybe we should go order one of those.
How do I get that thing?
Maybe we should go get one of those. Tailgate party in the annex that Justin was talking about. That's the pro experience.
Yep.
That one starts up at 1 o'clock. You can reserve your tickets right now by going to paysbig.com/sportsbook. That one and all the details there as well. That one is $40 a person for the tailgate party in the annex as well. And Rock and Brews, where we hung out for the tournament last year, is going to be up, and they're going to have a party up there as well. Paysbig.com/sportsbook to get all the information on what Potawatomi has going on for the big game at the best place to be investing on sports and the only place in the Wisconsin area.
And don't forget, you can always use the bet builder if you want to build your bets at home. Paysbig.com/sportsbook. Then you go to the casino, you scan your QR code at the kiosk or the ticket writer to place your bet. So it's easy, fun, awesome.
They got almost 100 different kiosks, over 2,000 square foot video wall, and more. Potawatomi Sportsbook, bet above the rest. All right, we hang out with our friend Aaron Nagler on the other side. He's going to hang out with us in the third hour of the program next week down from Radio Row, and he's up right after this on OBS, statewide on the game.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
KB here. Miss Sue and I have worked with Brewer Contracting on 3 projects in her home. Our patio, our basement, and now a bathroom remodel. And at the end of every project, we always say the same thing. Why didn't we do this earlier? Well, for us, it came down to 2 things: value and trust. We've been burned before, but Brewer Contracting earned our trust and hit our budget numbers. Our patio has become our summertime family room. The basement is my music studio, and the new bathroom is amazing. Inside of 2 weeks, Brewer Contracting transformed it from a builder-grade plastic junk bathroom into a glorious travertine tiled body cleansing retreat. Most importantly, it was done well within our budget, so we know we will get a return on our investment when we sell our home. Make 2025 the year you invest in your home. Just take a look around the house, pick out a project that's been on your back burner for years, and get it started at brewercontracting.com. That's brewercontracting.com. And tell them KB sent you.
Hospitalized Medicine has a lifelong prescription for every symptom, and each prescription causes more symptoms. Total Health works to restore health so you don't need their pills or treatment. It's not theory. Relativity equals expertise plus execution. TotalHealthInc.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, Hims can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Billy Schmidt, and if you've tried to lose weight in the past and it just hasn't worked, New Year's resolutions might not be your thing, but I got one with some help. It's the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. They've been able to change the lives of thousands of people with their incredible metabolic reset program. If you've tried losing weight before, you haven't had the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day without exercising, without prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There is no better way to lose weight than with Milwaukee Weight Loss, and there is no better time than right now to give yourself the gift of a new you in this new year. The caring team at Milwaukee Weight Loss is trying to help you thrive in 2025. So let them. Call for your free weight loss consultation today at 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for a free weight loss consultation. It's 262-433-4008 or visit them online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. And when you sign up, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on the game and that Billy Schmidt sent you.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
For New Year's, I wanted to try Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications everyone's talked about. I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text DATE to 200-300 to get started this New Year's with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic for 80 to 90% less. 100% online. Don't wait. Text DATE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text DATE to 200-300. DATE to 200-300.
The new iHeart app.
Yeah, I've been playing around with it.
Love my radio, love my presets.
Thank you.
This is really easy to use.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app and set your first preset. Plus, discover the new live radio dial, scan, lyrics, podcasts, playlists, and your favorite artists' radio.
Open the app and everything's right there. I love it.
The new and improved iHeartRadio app. It's everything you love about your car radio in the palm of your hand.
Go get it.
iHeartRadio.
97.3 The Game.
Armin Sarian eyeing up what he's going to strike at the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up for Super Bowl 59. Already eyeing up every single prop that he can. Listen, you bet above the rest of the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's the way to play. That's the spot to be at.
I know Aaron Nagler from GZ TV who's going to join us here. Agrees.
Yes.
You're rolling up to the Super Bowl and you have the honor of being a captain and you don't call heads, I have to question everything of what you're doing. You got to call heads.
Tails never fails, though.
You got to call heads.
Yeah.
Heads is heads is the right side of it. It's the right, correct thing to call.
Aaron Nagler, you get the call, Super Bowl 59. You are the starting quarterback after the illustrious days there in Appleton.
Yes.
What are you calling for your coin flip toss?
Absolutely heads.
There
No question about it. It is the dominant side. Like you had to make up a rhyme to make some kind of BS reason for calling tails.
Tails
Like,
never fails. That's an
exactly
easy
my
one.
point.
The
Except
thing
all
is-
the times it does. It is absolutely heads. Every
It's
single
always
time.
and it's always some sort of special coin too.
Oh,
it's always,
absolutely.
it's always some sort of-
commemorative BS coin. Yeah,
It's not like a regular quarter. You know,
Nope,
it's not like
ever.
it's just it's always a
You don't
commemorative.
think that they're using a handy dandy 50-cent piece for the Super Bowl flip?
They
I
should.
guess. That's what they should do. You know,
Gentlemen, on this side is the image of Roger Goodell. That is heads. On the other side is the
NFL
Caesars
Field.
Sportsbook here in New Orleans. That is tails. Like,
That's absolutely
that's
true.
what we're gonna get.
They should just do sponsored coins at this point, right? I mean, really,
We're not. I can't believe we're not there already.
Revenue stream.
we are going to be close enough to getting that. The coin toss will be brought to you by Verbo one of these days. So I would assume coming up for the Super Bowl.
So true.
Nags, now we cannot be more excited for you to be joining us, hopping on next week down at Radio Row at the Super Bowl. You're also, and this is where I appreciate this, you've been the seasoned vet to take me around last year at the Combine. First time being at Radio Row as well. You know, you're seasoned vet at this event. This is going to be a heck of a time for all of us to be able to bring not only conversation about our Packers, but about the entire league, because everybody in the NFL is basically down there.
Absolutely. It's a fun week. It's a busy week. It's hectic, and it only gets more so as the week goes on. So it's good to kind of settle in those first couple days, but just know that as Wednesday, it really ramps up, and those final couple days, Thursday, Friday, are really nuts.
Yeah, incredible. And I got to ask you, because I don't know, I feel sort of a kindred spirit to you, Nags. You're obviously a big fan. You started as a fan, like I am too. Like, how do you keep your cool when you see all these famous guys walking around? Like, oh, there's Jerry Rice in an Old Spice shirt,
right?
You know, or there's Emmitt Smith for Dial soap. You know,
it was certainly weird at first, like 10, 15 years ago, but now I don't get starstruck much. I will say, there was when they had the Super Bowl here in New York. There were a couple guys where the last time I really got like awed by an NFL player was Cam Newton. And it was right after Cam had lost the Super Bowl. And I think people remember that press conference where he was really sullen and really didn't answer much. But I just remember sitting there going, God, he is such a rock star. Like that was that kind of moment you're talking about where it was kind of surreal, right? But I think once you were, you know, in training camp every summer, and I used to talk to Aaron Rodgers in the locker room every day. So it, like at some point, it's like these huge superstars of the league, they're just dudes, you know, they play ball and it's great and they're cool. It's fun. So that wears off a little bit, but I'm sure, look, man, you never know who's going to show up promoting a movie, you know, have some big product they're launching, you know, never know who's going to be on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. It's a lot of fun.
That's the fun part, is the unexpected drop bys in the different people that can have somebody and be there with somebody.
And you guys got some real juice. I mean, it ain't like, hey, come
about that.
to my card table for Cheesehead TV, which is where I'm going to be situated. You guys actually have like a setup, and you're affiliated with a team. You got
us station.
So you know, but I'm just saying, like the iHeart thing, like you guys got a little pull, you know. So you never know who might show up
for a second. I thought you meant us individually. I'm like, I don't think.
Armin. They ain't no one down in New Orleans being like, I got to talk to Armin. Like,
right. Let's be honest.
Trust me, I'm aware. It's not my first
Armin let himself go there for a split second.
For a split second.
Just for a little bit.
Armin Sarian is here? Like, I can't wait.
Should I bring 8x10s to sign, or
yeah, you better.
Work?
Yeah,
you gotta be ready. You never know.
You better have a couple.
You gotta have the headshots.
Nags, we were talking about it earlier on here today. Now Anthony Campanelli gets hired as the defensive coordinator now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He didn't work in Tampa, so he could get poached and hired by the Jags at this point. What do you believe? I think the toughest part of it is obviously Quay Walker played some of the best ball that he has as a Green Bay Packer under Campanelli, especially later on in the year before he gets hurt. The evolution of Edgerrin Cooper, part of the reason why people would have us on their radar. Also thought the work that he did with Isaiah McDuffie and Eric Wilson, getting them ready to play seemingly week in, week out with one of his two starters, one of his two dudes at that spot down. It does not surprise me that he got the job. I was honestly more surprised he didn't get more looks around the cycle.
Well, here's the thing, though, is clearly this is an up-and-coming coach, and the fact that he is kind of one and done in Green Bay shouldn't be surprising, given that he had a number of interviews last cycle, defensive coordinator-wise, the Giants and a few others. This year, I mean, you probably read the report from Tom Silverstein. He could have been the defensive coordinator at Penn State, declined to even talk about being the defensive coordinator for the Fighting Irish, and apparently if Saleh doesn't end up back in San Francisco, that job was waiting for him in San Francisco to be the 49ers defensive coordinator. I think that speaks to a guy on the up-and-coming list, so to speak, around the league, a guy who has certainly done really good work everywhere he's been, and Green Bay being the latest stop, to your point, you cannot deny not just the work he did with the backers, but don't forget one of the other titles he held was run game coordinator on that defense. And there's no mystery watching their run defense improve exponentially this year comparative to not just last season, but pretty much for the last 10 years. I mean, I think that's something where, I understand people maybe being a little trepidatious. Like, is this run defense going to fall apart? Is this going to stunt the growth of these young inside backers? But I would point out that Sean Dugan, who is reportedly going to be elevated here, he was a defensive assistant last season after coming on board with Jeff Hafley. He had worked with Hafley at Boston College, clearly knows the route, right? Was the linebackers coach at BC, knows what's being asked of these guys schematically. Now, individual work, drill work, who knows? What that's the thing we'll find out. But as far as kind of a somewhat seamless transition, it sure feels like the Packers had set themselves up here. Like Hafley knew, look, it took a pretty big swing to get Campanelli in the building, and that's a good long-term friend of Hafley's. He knew that there was a good chance that Campanelli wasn't long for Green Bay. I think that's the whole reason he brought Dugan along with him. And again, I suspect that's kind of the plan there, is that someone who has worked linebackers in this scheme before, knows the scheme really well, will step in, and hopefully they don't miss much of a beat.
In that same vein, is it a similar situation with Sean Mannion now as well? I mean, you're talking about a new voice for Jordan Love. It's going to be
a really
important.
good question.
And you know what? It's interesting. You have Tom Clements. This is like a 40-year difference between Tom Clements and Sean Mannion. A new, fresh voice in a very important crucible of time for Jordan Love's development in his career.
No question about it. I got asked this on my daily chat a couple days ago, and the one thing I will say that I find like promising, right? No doubt about it. Tom Clements, the best in the business. You're going to miss him. You can't replace him, right? But I like the idea of a voice in Jordan Love's ear who has very recently played in the league. Mannion has only been on the staff for a year, right? Prior to that, he was still playing quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the idea that, not only is he familiar with what they're trying to do offensively, schematically, etc., but man, he knows how to attack certain defenses, looks, what to look for as a quarterback, how whatever you're asking the quarterback to do fundamentally, how that marries with what the receivers are doing, what you're doing in the scheme, trying to attack these different defenses. It just feels like something he'll be very familiar with. And they still have Connor Lewis on staff, who has assisted Tom Clements for the last 3 years or so in that room. I mean, look, you can't replace Tom Clements. There's no doubt about it. But as far as having a young guy who's very familiar with the modern game and helping Jordan Love kind of have a new voice and a new perspective, I'm hopeful about that.
We were talking about it earlier on. Aaron Nagler hanging out with us here. No BS on the game. You can be streaming us, as you should be, on YouTube and X as well as Facebook for now. There's a lot of different parts of the offseason that take different twists and turns, right, Nag? So going into this week where you start really reflecting, I think, on the season, now start looking forward with the Senior Bowl going on and everything. It's your first taste of weekends without football. You start thinking more about the team. And a year ago, this team that knocked you out in the postseason was also going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Do you believe right now, and it's difficult with hindsight knowing what just transpired in the season, but feeling as to what you just watched, the unknowns that were going into the 2024 offseason, even though you had a massive playoff victory there, do you believe they're closer now to being the team that represents the NFC in the Super Bowl, or they were at the offseason in 2023?
No, I think they absolutely are. And I know it doesn't feel that way, right? Because of the things you're talking about, especially when you consider how much they bumped their toe against the best teams in the league this season.
Yep.
But they have gone from 8 to 9 to 11 wins. They are a team that is still young and ascending, but they feel like a team that absolutely knows, and not just a team, an organization that absolutely knows, okay, the transitional period is over. I mean, I know we've talked, Billy, a lot about Brian's kind of statement there at the podium, talking about it's time to get back to competing for championships. The urgency that's necessary certainly is permeated throughout the building, right? So I don't think there's anybody inside 1265 Lombardi that doesn't understand, both coaches and personnel people and undoubtedly players, that, okay, we've made that turn from the Aaron Rodgers era. We have been the youngest team in the league, and they have, I would posit, somewhat overachieved in that regard. I mean, you do not have to go very far last summer to people talking about how, oh, you're going to find out how the other half lives. You don't have Aaron Rodgers anymore. You're going to have 10 years in the wilderness. And the Packers took about 6 games until they were done rebuilding, and so I think that does get lost, especially, again, because of the frustrations this season. But, man, each season is different. This team is going to continue to build on what I think, yes, are some nominal successes. Ultimately, they have to learn from the failures. But, man, you talk about being positioned very well going forward. This is a team that has more maneuverability when it comes to the cap and free agency than they have in like 5-6 years. Then you have the draft. You have a lot of young guys continuing to develop, and you've got your quarterback. That's the other thing. Can we get a season out of Jordan Love where he's not hurt in week 1? Like I love where this team is positioned, and I think they have a real good chance of making a real run next year.
Yeah, and I was telling Billy, it's exciting knowing now that you have a new dad that likes to shop for Christmas in the free agency. We didn't have that before. Not that I was ever against the way Ted wanted to run things.
Love you, Uncle Ted. Love you, Ted.
I just knew that wasn't what our family was doing. You know, what I mean?
We were going to go to Goodwill, and that was going to be what
right.
we were getting.
You pick out one thing from the Goodwill, and that's it.
We grow our own toys here in the house. We don't, you know what I mean? But hey, we've got now.
See that swing set out there? We put that up. That's what you got.
To actually expect that you are going to be in those free agency waters is
right. Yeah, there's conversations, let alone like the ability to sign people. And look, they were hamstrung still last year. They were still dealing with dead money from the Rodgers era, and they still got the best running back on the market and the best safety on the market. Yeah. So I'm not saying they're going to go hog wild this year. It really has to fit, has to make sense with how they're building their program, but there certainly aren't any constraints. That is for sure.
Yeah, and I'm excited to maybe be the team that takes somebody from a division rival. Byron Murphy, what's up, dude? Let's have a conversation and let's turn this thing around. Let's turn this thing around where it always is Green Bay to Minnesota. Let's take one from Minnesota to Green Bay and pick off JJ McCarthy a couple of times.
I mean, I'm all about that narrative. Let's go. Let's switch it up. Although I do kind of, I mean, the last time we did that was like Gilbert Brown, and that turned out okay. So let's do it.
Works out, right?
History repeating. I'm all about that life.
I'm all about this life. Hanging out, talking ball with Aaron Nagler. He's going to be joining us throughout the week next week down at Super Bowl Radio Row in New Orleans. What will be your New Orleans got to, right? I've talked mostly about beignets. Some people have said crawfish. I also like the big hurricane drink in a styrofoam cup.
Yes, sir.
Like the old styrofoam hospital looking cup.
I get
I appreciate that.
I get what you're saying. The foam keeps the drink.
What would that be for Aaron Nagler that everyone's gonna have to experience next week?
Oh, I'm going to the Dungeon. That's my favorite bar in New Orleans, and they play just the most eclectic music, and they get you wrecked with their drinks.
It sounds like an EDM club.
That's what I'm talking.
You would think it was, but and you know what? When you enter, you kind of maybe feels like it is, but that's my jam. That's my spot. Billy, we're going. I'm taking.
Oh, we're there.
I'm taking you. It is going to happen. Like you have got to get yourself to the Dungeon. Oh, and also there's another spot called Portical that is. They have great burgers. They have great drinks, and they're very akin to. They remind me of my grandpa's bar in Chilton. That's why I love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Old school, dark, and like it doesn't matter like what time of day it is. Like from the moment they open in the morning to the moment they close at night, it could be at any it could be at any time around. Like by looking inside, you would never know what time of day it is. Ever.
Shout out to Chilton.
I like that. That's the bar that you don't know that you don't know necessarily what time it is, and the Dungeon is necessarily the one that you could.
You're dancing at the Dungeon. You get your dancing shoes on at the Dungeon. Let's go! I can't wait.
Oh, there's gonna be dancing at this Dungeon.
Oh, there's dancing, baby. Last time I was there, they went from
everybody having to watch.
I'm not even joking. The last time I was at the Dungeon, they went from playing She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult into Power of Love by Huey Lewis.
That's
that is your jam right there.
I mean, that you talk about just there's no rhyme or reason, and that like you've just got to be on your toes for what's next. It's the best.
Cannot wait for it, man. We will be talking all about it. We'll be hitting up the Dungeon and a couple other establishments.
That's what I'm talking about.
The week next week. See you, man.
That's the best. Thanks, guys. Talk to you on Monday.
You bet.
That's Aaron Nagler. We'll talk to him on Monday from Radio Row in New Orleans at the convention center down there for Super Bowl 59 Radio Row. Travis in Waukesha has a great point. How about this how far do you think we are away from flipping a Bitcoin to start the Super Bowl?
I think it's going to be totally It'll be like, do you want Eli or Peyton? It's going to be one of those,
Yeah, it will be the two figureheads of football. Yeah, do you have the Peyton or Eli coin? Well, that would also be for what could happen on Sunday, Pro Bowl games.
Right.
You fired up or what? Were you watching last night?
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't. Sorry. I don't get into it anymore. When I was a kid, when it was a real game, I did. I'm sorry. It made me less of a fan. I don't know.
I don't think so. thought it was on later than it was. So
I thought it was on Sunday. Like, I didn't think it was like, well, what to do on a Thursday?
Dave.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl games start on Thursday, get finished on Sunday.
Oh.
Last night was the start. This is how you win the Pro Bowl games. You got to start big in the relay race. You got to start big with the quarterback accuracy. And I missed all of them because I thought it started at 8 and not at 6. So, you know what? Sorry about it. We missed that one for you. You know what we're not going to miss? The parlay of the day here today. We got ourselves that in already for us here on No BS. It's Bucks money line against the Spurs. Chris Middleton over 1.5 threes. Giannis over 50.5 points, rebounds, assists. And after winning last night, you got a little something to throw down and enjoy here today. We round third, head for home, and then hand it off to my roommate for next week and our friends, Mike Heller and Nick Bruzewitz for the Mike Heller Show next on The Game.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sportsbook, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Waterstone Bank is proud to partner with Journey House. Journey House has been transforming lives in and around Milwaukee since 1969, empowering families to move out of poverty by offering programs in adult education, youth leadership and athletics, Thrive workforce development, and family engagement. Go to journeyhouse.org for more information. Journey House and Waterstone Bank, partners in helping to make our community a better place.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
I'm Victor Harding. If you or someone you love is injured, I highly recommend Best Lawyers Complex Litigation Lawyer of the Year, Warshevsky's Frank Cravello.
Frank here. If you're injured, the quality of your attorney and law firm will likely have greater impact on the compensation you receive than even the facts of your case. I highly recommend Best Lawyers Product Liability Attorney of the Year, Warshevsky's Victor Harding.
The quality of your attorney and law firm are huge factors in the compensation injured Wisconsinites receive. Injured?
It is about the money.
Warshevsky.com.
Bunzel's Old Fashioned Meat Market is Milwaukee's family-run deli and grocer for 4 generations. Pick up prime cuts of meat, award-winning jerky, and homemade specialty sausages. Bunzel's is open and ready to help you feast for the big game. Bunzel's has everything you need for the big game. Wings, burgers, homemade brats, cheese and sausage platters, dips and chips. Whether you're hosting a few friends or watching elsewhere, come see their selection and fill your basket at Bunzel's. See all their specials online at bunzels.com. That's bunzels.com.
Brother man, you ever get the Sunday scaries?
Sunday scaries?
Yeah, you stay up half the night on Sunday because you're worried about the upcoming week.
I used to, but not anymore. Not now that I found Happy Place Hemp Delta 8 gummies. I take one about an hour before bedtime and I sleep like a baby. But I'm not the only one. One smart, good-looking listener texted us and said they started taking the gummies for their anxiety. Now they're more relaxed. They get a good night's sleep. No more tossing and turning.
And now listeners can go to happyplacehemp.com, use the promo code DrewKB, and get 25% off their order. Can't beat that with a stick.
Happyplacehemp.com, promo code DrewKB.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup available, you'll always find what you love only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
The Fox 6 weather experts are presented by AdventKnows.com.
A dense fog advisory is in effect until 9 a.m. Drive with care today. A mild morning should warm back up to near 40, 42 degrees for this afternoon. Breezy northeast wind develops. It gets gusty through the afternoon. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy and 24, 36 tomorrow. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Hubie and Abraham. Voted best. Rated best. Hubie.com.
Injured? Do you want the best? Remember the name Hubie and Abraham.
Everyone I know told me they're the best. I would give them a lot of stars.
More than a 5-star rating.
Call Hubie and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Or go to Hubie.com right now.
Coming up Friday on the Mike Keller Show, noon to 3 on the game. Less than a week away from the NBA trade deadline and just a couple of weeks away from spring training. So we'll give you an update on both fronts. Plus, Matt LePay will join us in advance of their game at Northwestern. The Mike Keller Show, Friday, noon to 3 on the game.
All right, here we go. Maybe the best bet to make at the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
I'm not doing it,
Bet
Billy.
above the rest. There's only one place to get that kind of action. At Potawatomi Sportsbook, step into a sports haven for an all-pro elite level, won't find anywhere else sports betting experience where you could be like one individual that just
don't do it. But
according to Ben Fox on Twitter, Ben used to work for VSiN, also ESPN. He's a sports betting analyst.
Nice.
Somebody at Bet Rivers threw this down, and it's the same odds that's also at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. $51,000 on there to not be an octopus in the Super Bowl. Now, the octopus is a touchdown and 2-point conversion scored by the same player.
Right. So if Josh Allen snuck, he's not playing in this game.
Jalen Hurts
snuck
Sorry,
one in.
I know you want Josh Allen to go to the Super Bowl. Sorry.
It ain't happening this
Sorry.
year. Let's say Jalen Hurts
Ain't
has
happening.
a running touchdown.
Yep.
And then he did tush push for the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
That's an octopus.
That is an octopus.
It seems way
That would
too
be a
likely
winner.
for me to walk in with a bag of 50 large and drop it on the table and say, I want this to get my 1% return or whatever it would be.
If you're wondering what that $51,000 investment pays back, it's $1,530 in profit.
It just doesn't seem.
Get your $51,000 back. Don't get
Of
that
course,
twisted.
you can't lose money.
You
for winning a
ultimately
bet.
win a little over $1,500.
I just don't see it being worth it. It's just too likely.
Now let's pull it back a little bit, all right? Because nobody's got 51,000.
No, let's say you got $100.
Let's say you got $100. What does your $100 bill turn into? $3 in profit.
Okay, in a 3-hour sweat or 4-hour sweat, basically. That's what that is. To
That's
win
true.
$3.
4+ hours sweat because it's the longest game of football in the year.
I just don't think it's a good use of your gambling dollar. Now, for me, I like heavy favorites, Billy. We joke about that all the time. But that's too heavy and too likely to happen to me. I mean, that could happen. I don't want to say it's likely, but it could happen. You might as well just get
a cool 30 cents if you throw $10 on it.
Why don't you just take your couple hundred and take 5 of your best friends for $40 a person and go to the tailgate part of the annex at the sports book? You get the wristband for all-you-can-eat buffet and 3 drink tickets.
Yeah, that's better.
That's a
How
much
many
better
Mama's
return.
pancakes could you order with that?
Exactly. Now, I don't know if those Mama's pancakes were in the buffet.
Yeah, buffet is going to be an awesome tailgate fare that they're going to run through. That is a much better idea,
okay.
much better use of your money.
Here's what the buffet gets you, the tailgate buffet for the Super Bowl. Brats, chicken wings, slatters, walking tacos. Those are good.
Oh, let's go.
That's the Dorito deal, I think.
Yes.
Charcuterie.
You're
Look
right.
how-
Ooh,
Deviled
charcuterie
eggs. What is this, Easter? Taco.
You know, every good Super Bowl party is going
yeah.
to have a large plate of deviled eggs, and nobody's going to be grabbing them.
Taco dips, French onion dips, brownies, and mini donuts. I'm sorry, and 3 drink tickets. You out of your mind if you think you're getting a better deal than that? No, I'm definitely going to spend my hard-earned money on getting the buffet at the tailgate party in the annex at the sports book during the Super Bowl than putting it on a no octopus bet at minus 33.35. Sorry, that's just me.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. Now, what about to get an octopus bet? That $5 would get you $60.
I think it's more likely than people think. In this day and age, when teams are going for 2 all the time, you got a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. You got to,
or Patrick Mahomes, who just had 2 rushing touchdowns himself last game.
Yeah, or
Saquon.
That's
Saquon Barkley.
That's a great point. If Saquon runs in a touchdown, which
Travis
is extremely
Kelce
likely,
in what could be his last game.
That could be, but don't you think that it's pretty likely that they might want to run Saquon from the 2-yard line?
I would think so. I'd
I'd
like to run him from either 2-yard line. Like if I'm 98 yards away or 2 yards away, I think I got a chance to go the distance with Saquon. All right, we got a chance. We went the full distance here today. That's a great show here today. Way to go, wire to wire, pillar to post, coast to coast. We took it the full gamut. Dave Gasper, elite job. We will see you in 2 weeks.
All right, I'll be here.
We will talk to you coming up next week. And thank you for all the work that you are going to do next week to be able to make sure this radio program looks and sounds fantastic.
It's busy, but you'll be great.
Yeah, we'll try and keep it on the tracks.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you trying because we're going to need a lot of help. If we get a full week down in New Orleans, we're going to need a lot of help. Armin, I'll see you Sunday at the airport, right around 6:15 or so.
I'll be there earlier. I hope.
Armin will be there about 4:15. We'll talk to you from Super Bowl Radio Row on Monday at 9 in New Orleans. Getting ready for Super Bowl 59. We'll hand it off to the Mike Heller Show right after this. It's been No BS on the Game.
Miss a second of today's show? Yes. Well, good news. Right after the show, the podcast will be up. Nice. Just search 97.3 The Game wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow, rate, and review it wherever you get your podcasts.